FC with a 2-0 win over Austin FC. Plus, Jim's back.
This is Jim.
He takes 7 minutes to prep for the show.
If you've been feeling less than optimal.
No honeymoon jokes. Now, time for Jon and Jim.
Hi, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. Why would the big voice guy say Jim takes 7 minutes to prep for the show when he clearly doesn't take 7 minutes to prep for the show?
Yeah, I take about
6 minutes. Jim is back. Maui Jim is back from his Hawaiian anniversary trip.
I'm here.
You look the same other than the fact that you're burnt.
Yes, I am. On a scale of 1 to lobster, I'm like a 3.
Yeah, I've seen you maybe worse, but you definitely you go to Hawaii.
It's gonna get
sunscreen.
I did bring sunscreen, dude.
Wear a shirt. You show me your back. Your back is red, dude.
Yeah, I know. And I put a bunch of sunscreen on. It's what happens. The sun is undefeated.
It is undefeated.
It's undefeated.
All right, we have a great show. We need to hear about your trip, though, off the top. I do want to let our listeners know that Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30 because we'll have some updates potentially on Gavin Sheets between now and then. Kurt Heelan will get us ready for the NBA Finals. He'll join us at 3:30. We have good giveaways today, including a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. But let's not bury the lead, which isn't the Padres winning a series against the Pirates, who were going 6-3 while Jim was gone. Remember, they lost 6 straight, and then you left, so we guarantee that. The primary, what was the highlight? Because I shared with our listeners on air whatever you texted me, which is you got bit by a wasp and threw up in a helicopter. And that's the last time our listeners heard about your anniversary trip. I figured that was public.
Oh, you shared that?
Yeah, I mean, because you shared it with me.
Yeah. So that was one of the highlights of the trip. By the way, coming back from Hawaii is very difficult,
especially in the travel or just getting back to work.
Just getting back to real life, because when you're 100%. In Hawaii, that's not real life. It's a vacation. It's more than that. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels completely different.
Yeah, but imagine if you came back from Hawaii and you lived in Detroit, and it was December 13th, and you had to clear off your car from ice and snow.
Right? It could be worse.
Yeah, you came back to San Diego, where today at the office it's 73 and stuff.
Yeah, it could be worse. I get it.
Yeah,
could be worse. But just being in Hawaii for what was it?
A week.
Yeah, a week, 8 days.
Right.
Because we were from Saturday to Sunday. So yeah, about 8-9 days.
Right.
Waking up at 6 a.m. because of the time change. And you're I feel great. And then your days, your morning's complete by 9 a.m. It was just a great feeling. But yeah, the helicopter ride that we took started out great. That was on Sunday. It was our anniversary last Sunday. So we took a helicopter ride and flew over Maui. And then we landed in the rainforest near Hana. So Hana's the huge, the road to Hana. Right. It's a big thing there. Everyone's if you go to Maui, you got to do the road to Hana.
Right.
Instead, we took a helicopter.
Yeah. And so forget the road.
Yeah, forget the road. We want to take the helicopter. We don't want to drive for hours. We want to just take a 20-30 minute helicopter ride. And so it was great.
So on the way out, everything's fine.
Going there,
wonderful
awesome.
Experience. You take the helicopter, you see the rainforest, you land literally in the rainforest.
We were descending, and I go, uh-oh, because he made a sharp turn. I mean, this guy in the helicopter, he was it's like Tom Cruise out there, dude. He was just going left and right and making some crazy turns. I'm bro, chill out.
Was it the extra extreme helicopter? Was it the adventure helicopter tour?
No, it wasn't the helicopter tour.
Did it have doors, or could you
it had
fall
doors,
out?
Sean. It had doors. There was an option on a different helicopter
to have no doors.
To have no doors.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's no way in hell I was doing that.
Okay.
No
so
chance.
It had doors.
It had doors. We were secure. We were safe.
You were wearing a seatbelt?
Oh, we were wearing multiple seatbelts. We had headsets on.
Did you parachute?
No, you guys parachute. But when they were going through the safety procedures,
I bet it was a lot.
I thought of you.
Oh, because I'm not getting on
because he gives us a life raft to put on our waist. And
that's safe. Yeah,
I immediately thought of you because you would have said some stupid remark about, well, if we're going down, I guess
we're good.
We're good.
It's when they do the reading, by the way, on an airplane. In the case of a water landing, I'm a water landing is called you're dead. But anyway,
so he starts descending to where we're landing in the rainforest. It was beautiful, but he makes a turn, and I go, oh, that didn't feel good, because I immediately got like a little motion sickness. And so we land, like, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Like, we're going to get some water on the ground. I'll drink some water. Instead, we had mimosas, which was probably not a good idea.
Wait, did you tell the pilot at this point, hey, I was a little like queasy?
No, because I didn't want to be that guy.
You are that guy.
I know. I didn't want to be that guy.
Right, you wanted to be like the tough guy. It's my
Can you ruin
anniversary.
it for the rest of the people on the helicopter?
Oh, there were other people in the helicopter?
It wasn't just me and Aaron.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I thought it was like this anniversary helicopter.
No, it was me and Aaron and then 4 other people.
Did you puke on them?
And then it was the pilots. Just let me finish. So we land and I'm like, I just need to drink water, get some fresh air. I'll be fine. So instead of water, I drank mimosas because he had champagne for everybody. Right. And we also ate, I think it's called cacao. It's the seeds that you make the chocolate out of.
Okay.
So I'm eating that. It's very bitter, but had to try it. We're there for about a half hour on the ground. I'm like, okay, I feel fine.
Feel better. Yeah.
I feel fine. We're all good. I got on land. I'm good. And take all the pictures and whatnot. Get back on the helicopter. Aaron sits down and I get to my seat, sit down. I turn around, I grab the headset that we had to put on, and immediately I felt like a sharp, like it almost was like it was touching, like I touched something really hot, but it also felt like sharp. I'm like, and out of the corner of my head comes this giant wasp.
There was a giant wasp on the helicopter.
Inside the helicopter, on my headset, behind my seat.
That bit you, so that you got bit by.
I think it stung me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it stung me because it still was flying around. And immediately, I mean, it hurt. Oh, dude, it hurt bad. And so then the pilot is like trying to get this wasp out of the plane.
Were you in the air?
No, we were on the ground. It'd have been worse if it was in the air.
Into a loop.
No, dude.
I'll just open the windows.
Yeah, that's fine. Open the door. It's okay.
Okay, so you're on the ground.
On the ground. So he gets the wasp out, but like my hand is on fire. My finger goes numb for a second. I'm like, it hurt like it hurt really bad. But
why didn't he go straight to the hospital? He
then gives me like an ice pack, and I put like an ice pack on my finger.
A John Schaefer thing to happen. How did this happen to you?
And so Aaron's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. And I'm like not looking outside the helicopter. So I'm like looking down because I'm trying to ice my hand. I'm just like close my eyes and I don't realize that we're about to take off. We take off and he makes this like turn, and that's when I'm like, oh, this is going to be really bad right now. And we're not even close to landing. This is on the way back. And he's like showing us these other waterfall areas and explaining the land to us.
And you're still trying to be like a tough guy, like not tell him you're about to puke.
100%. As I'm icing my hand, that just got stung by a wasp.
Aaron's probably freaking out.
And Aaron's like, yeah, she is like, oh my God, are you okay?
I know. Yeah, I can imagine Aaron.
So I'm like, suck it up. At one point, I start pinching myself to try to like distract me from getting sick. Like,
right.
And I'm like, I'm not going to throw up. I'm not going to throw up. And I saw a bag in front of me. I took the bag and I just unloaded.
You puked in front of other people on your anniversary helicopter flight?
There was this lady sitting right next to me looking at me as I'm puking into a puke bag with an ice pack on my hand after getting stung by a wasp. And our helicopter's pilot's like, over here are 150-foot waterfalls. And I'm like,
that is disgusting. Dude. So wait, did you feel better after? Was there like throw up like on you afterwards? Like, were you able to like clean yourself up? Was it like in your beard?
It was. I
think my gosh.
Aaron took a video of me, and
no, she didn't.
After we landed, and I looked at the video, and there's like a little bit of puke in my beard.
Disgusting.
and we took a picture on the way there in the helicopter, and then we took a picture like after we landed.
And one of them, you're probably like, "What is a ghost?"
I am like white. On the second picture, like I'm as white as this wall right here. And so we land, and the pilot knew nothing about this. Like he didn't know I threw up.
Right.
Nothing.
Did you have to pay more because you threw up?
I threw up, and I'm holding this like little bag of throw up.
Oh.
And I get off the plane. He goes, "Did you have fun?" I'm like, "You got me." And he goes, you threw up, and everyone's like, oh, you should have said something. I was like, dude, I'm throwing up. There's nothing I can say. I'm like,
honestly,
what do you want me to do?
The people I feel bad for are the other people that were on this helicopter trip with you guys.
Well, Erin thought that I threw up on the floor because she didn't see I had a bag with me.
Oh, you were just gonna go like that would be way worse, obviously. She just went right to the floor.
She was like, she wasn't looking at me. So when we landed, she looked over and she goes, where'd you throw up? Because I was holding the bag like under the seat because I didn't want to hold this bag like in my lap while icing my hand from getting stung by a wasp. So I'd had the bag like under the seat, making sure like, do not spill this. Do not have this hit the ground.
Did you tip?
Did I tip? I think we did.
How a helicopter? I would imagine that's how a tour would work.
The price and then gratuities, I think, included. The gratuity was included.
I think this time was included, right?
It was included. It was included. So
the trip got better, presumably from there.
And then we went to the store because I wanted to get some like cream to put on my finger, and then some Dramamine, or not Dramamine, some Claritin, just because I wanted to make sure I didn't get like any allergies pop up. And
I thought you were in the hospital because he texted me, he was like, and I'm in the hospital.
I did. I messed with you. So
I told Kristen, I'm like, Jim is in the hospital. He got stung by a wasp, threw up on people in his helicopter ride. She's like, what? Really? And he's like, oh, just kidding. It didn't happen. I'm like, nothing happened. He's like, no, everything happened but me ending up in the hospital.
Yeah, because I know how gullible you are.
Gullible? I mean, I'm not gullible. You're telling me you threw up on your helicopter ride and you really died.
I did throw up, and that. So that from me getting stung by the wasp to us landing to getting some Claritin and some cream for my hand, that was about, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes. And that was the only part of the trip that was like not good. Everything else was spectacular, perfect. Didn't want to come home, to the point where like we're sitting there saying like, how are we supposed to like go back to normal life now? Because of just living on the island for a week. It was just amazing.
Here's the thing. It's not that far away. People go to Hawaii from San Diego 3 times a year.
It's only a 5-6 hour flight.
Right, exactly.
Not bad.
It's not like you can't go
back. It's a one way. It's just one way there. You're not stopping anywhere. I mean, you can't stop anywhere on the ocean.
If you stop somewhere, you got problems. Go to Hawaii.
Right. Yeah. But
it was a good trip.
Yeah.
Other than throwing up in a helicopter.
Other than getting stung by a wasp on our honeymoon / anniversary helicopter ride over Maui, and then throwing up on the way back. Everything was perfect.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into the Padres because there's a report out today from Dennis Lin about the prospects of the Padres going after a Red Sox outfielder. We'll share that news with you on the other side. Plus, we'll get you ready for the series coming up that begins tonight in San Francisco. Giants and Padres is this the first series between the Giants and the Padres? No, second series.
It's the
they
second,
played 2
John.
games earlier this year at Petco. First time in the Bay this season, but we'll tell you about that report from Dennis Lin. On the other side, great giveaways. Kevin Acee at 5:30. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760 and the iHeartRadio Music Festival present the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music, once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We'll announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you could win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you need to know happens tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeart and also San Diego Sports 760. So Jon and Jim with you.
What did I miss?
All right, so here's what you basically missed. Miles Bird is coming back, but related to the Padres. Right?
Okay.
Miles Bird's coming back to San Diego State. We'll touch more on that.
I did mean in the San Diego sports landscape.
The Padres definitely played better with you gone because they had lost 6 consecutive games.
Bro, they always do.
They go 6-3, but honestly, it was like
didn't feel like 6-3.
Yeah, it's kind of like the softest 6-3 that I can recall. You can't complain about it, honestly. Like it's not a reason to go crazy about them going 6-3, but they could have. I mean, they threw away that game against Miami. They led 6-1 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I saw that the bullpen was a big reason, and along with Mike Schilt kind of falling asleep at the wheel.
A little bit of that, plus their bullpen was just taxed. But then they took a lead in that game. They were up 6-1, trailed 7-6. Gavin Sheets, it's a 2-out, 2-run home run. You're up 8-7 in the 8th inning. You have to win that game, right?
Right.
And they lose that game. And then offensively, like there's some really interesting notes in general. So they're 6-3 here in their last 9 games. But like, would you realize that since the 21-run game against Colorado?
Ooh, I like these stats.
Since the 21-run game against Colorado, there have been 18 games played by the Padres. They have the lowest OPS in Major League Baseball since that game in the last 18 games. So I guess the point is that the record is still good. The question is, can they get away with it, so to speak, against good teams? San Francisco, LA, even Arizona, they're struggling. Arizona, Milwaukee's been amazing.
They just lost Corbin Burns.
They lost Burns. Milwaukee's won 7 straight, and they're going to Milwaukee this weekend. But like, I guess the question is, are they going to get away with it over the next 17 games? This offense has been anemic. The pitching is just holding on. You've got injuries, obviously, to Michael King and Yu Darvish right now. They're not coming back in the next week or 10 days. Can they manage through these next 17 games with an offense that's been as poor as it's played over the last 9 days? You don't have to have watched to know that basically outside of Machado and Sheets, this offense just has not hit well over the last 3 weeks.
Well, the good thing, John, is we're going to find out.
Beginning tonight, we'll find out.
Tonight, the stretch, probably one of their biggest stretches of the year.
Absolutely.
The biggest stretch of the year so far. And we'll see how it all pans out, as the season progresses. But yeah, the offense is, it's just sputtering with Tatis completely going into a nosedive here. Jackson Merrill, I think he's played better since his recent struggles and his 0-for streak. But yeah, besides Gavin Sheets and Manny Machado, the offense is not doing well, and it's been the issue that we thought was going to be a problem for this year, which is the depth pieces, the others. If they're not going to perform and you're going to rely on your stars and your studs to just carry the day all the time, that's not a good recipe, because your stars in your top 4 in the lineup, if they're all hot, that's great. But how many?
It hasn't happened one time.
But it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And remember 2023 when all we said was, once all these guys get hot at the same time, watch out. That never happened.
Yeah.
So sometimes it never happens. Sometimes you never have your, 2, 3, 4 stars in your lineup all be hot at the same time. If you just get a couple of them hot at the same time, that's great. To get all of them clicking at one time, that's difficult and kind of a lot to ask.
True. I mean, I guess the good news is they're 9 games over 500. Also, like the 9 days you were gone, they actually looked a little bit like 2024, because you'll recall everything I'm talking about. They trailed 3-1 in Atlanta. They won.
A lot of comebacks.
They trailed 3-0 against Miami. They won. They trailed 6-0 against Miami. They won. They trailed yesterday 4-1 in the 6th inning. They won. So like it wasn't pretty. Yeah, like it wasn't necessarily the way you would draw it up. They've got the lowest, by the way. Here's another thing. Talking about their depth, they have the lowest OPS of pinch hitters in baseball. Now they got 2 pinch hits yesterday from Elias Diaz, and then Tyler Wade maybe stayed in the game in his second at bat, had a pinch hit in a big spot. So like they've come through. They've still had a little bit of that knack that they showed in 2024. But here's the other big question. We talk about the injuries to King and Darvish, as we were talking about even before you were gone. Now Gavin Sheets. We'll get an update, presumably at some point. He traveled with the team. He suffered 4 injuries yesterday. Contusion, wrist jam, this, that. I don't even know what he suffered.
How do you suffer 4 injuries from that one play?
What were the injuries?
It looked awful.
The injuries that he suffered yesterday.
Like head contusion, hip contusion.
Sore hip, head contusion, jam wrist, jam thumb. So, A, how long is he out? And B, does he look like the same hitter when he returns because of those injuries?
He's been one of the
absolutely
brightest spots in this lineup this year. He's been one of the lottery tickets that AJ Preller has purchased that has actually hit. And if he's out of the lineup for an extended period of time, who's your replacement? Now we'll talk about who the replacement could be soon, coming up here at the bottom of the hour. But with the way this team is playing right now, going into this stretch of games against really good teams, we're going to find out if this 6-3 stretch was fool's gold or if they can sustain it while the guys in their lineup get back to playing better. And I'm talking about like Fernando Tatis Jr. especially, because he just went through one of the worst months of his career in May after having a great start to the year in April. But I don't know, man. I think not struggling. Struggling's not the right word to use against the Marlins and the Pirates, because when you win both series, you're not struggling. You're getting the job done. But can they continue to do what they're doing against good teams and still get wins on the other side?
We're going to find out, like you said, beginning tonight. All right, the latest on the possibility of the Padres getting outfield help sooner rather than later. We'll share that with you on the other side. Kevin Acee at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Superstar Car Wash. Padres start a 3-game series tonight with the San Francisco Giants up in the Bay Area. 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolk on the mound for the Padres. The NBA Finals, they are set. Pacers and Thunder starts Thursday in OKC. If you know, you go at Superstar Car Wash. They're proud to have over 550,000 members. Be in the know and try what everyone loves today. Text Super CA to 27800 to get 50% off their best wash. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. There's a report today from Dennis Lin in The Athletic that the Padres have Jarren Duran on their list of possible trade targets. This according to Athletic sources. Remember, Jarren Duran with the Red Sox, we talked about him last year because the Padres were publicly linked to him before the 2024 season. He had a terrific year, Jim, a year ago. He was 7th in baseball in WAR. He hasn't had that same season here to start 2025, although it's only been like a third of the season. He doesn't make a lot of money, just $3.75 million. He plays multiple outfield positions. He's under control through 2028, which is an AJ Preller type player. So, I mean, the question's kind of twofold. A, would the Red Sox be willing to, sell on him at this point? Coming off a really good year, he hasn't been as good this year. Plus, what would it cost prospect-wise to go get a player of Duran's caliber? Again, he hasn't had this amazing year. He's got a 718 OPS, which is a lot better than anything the Padres have done in left field. And in 2024, he put it all together. I mean, he hit 285 and 834 OPS. He was a terrific player a year ago with the Red Sox. So this much we know. They're going to be looking for outfield help. We don't know if it's going to be Jarren Duran or not, but here's a name like most names that are going to be significant upgrades for the Padres if they're able to pry someone like him loose.
I specifically remember talking about Jarren Duran.
Me too.
Last year before the start of the season. Yep. As a guy that the Padres should target. But then it quickly became, well, they're going to have to give up a lot because of the control and probably not going to happen.
Right.
And then Jarren Duran put together, I mean, his amazing numbers last year were incredible. He led the league in doubles, led the league in triples. He had 34 stolen bases. He had 20 plus home runs. Yep. He played 160 games. He almost had a 9 WAR for the Red Sox last year.
That's insane.
Finished top 10 in MVP voting. He was incredible last year. I think he was also the All-Star Game MVP last year as well.
So what's the cost?
That's the question. And if the cost, now, why would the Red Sox, here's the question you have to ask, not the cost, but the why. Why would the Red Sox trade Jarren Duran?
Well, apparently because they have players in their system, including their top prospect, Roman Anthony, who's ready.
Okay. And so, Jarren Duran's almost 30, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
He's 28.
Okay.
So he's 28, but okay, you get some return. You promote your top prospect. Duran, you're still selling maybe high coming off this career year, to your point. And like, is Duran ever going to be that player he was in 2024 again? So you're selling quasi high to the Red Sox. You're promoting a player from within, and then your return includes, I'm making this up, I don't think the Padres ever do this, but your return includes Leo DeVries. Hypothetically, if I'm Boston, there is no way I'm doing this for just like a trio of prospects between like 10 and 30 in the Padres organization. This will take one of their top 2 or 3 prospects, if not 2 of their top 5 prospects to get done. This will include an Ethan Salas if something like this were to get done.
All right, so the why the Red Sox are looking to potentially trade Jarren Duran is because of the prospects that they have that are ready. Jarren Duran's closer to 30. They might feel last year was that,
outlier.
Yeah, outlier year that he might not have again because he's having a down year compared to his last season. But anything the Padres have right now in left field, Jarren Duran is
light years
light years, a different solar system.
Dude, this
better
is like Star Wars
anything
episode
the
8.
Padres have that they're throwing out in left field. Gavin Sheets, we talked about this before the show.
Yeah.
Him getting injured yesterday, that's on the Padres. That's on AJ Preller, and that's on Mike Schilt because he should not be in left field. He's not a left fielder, clearly. And you saw it from the first time he was out there this year, misplaying balls left and right. and they continue to put him in left field. That's on the organization for Gavin Sheets getting injured yesterday.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Gavin Sheets, enough. The experiment in left field, it's over. He's not a left fielder. All right. Jason Hayward, not going to do it. All right. Brandon Lockridge, no. Tyler Wade, no. So Jarren Duran is a massive upgrade, even though he's having a down year compared to his last year. It's a massive upgrade in left field. And then you go to the cost. Like you said, it's going to cost you one of your top prospects. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to say, we feel that we have a team right now that can win? And is it worth it to take one of our top prospects? To me, I'm saying if it's going to take Leo DeVries, no chance. If the conversation starts with, we want Leo DeVries, I'm sorry, I'm hanging up the phone.
Yeah, but if the conversation starts with Ethan Salas, I won't even hang up the phone. I'll get the deal done on that same call.
Same.
So that's where I'm going to draw my line too. I'm with you. I think DeVries you have to treat as if you have a chance to have a generational player, whether he is or not. Nobody has any clue.
Right.
Ethan Salas is a very young player, could be a 15-year major leaguer. His defense will probably keep him in the major leagues for 10 or 15 years. So it's not to say that he's not a capable future major leaguer, and maybe his bat one day will play. But they have proven with veteran backstops, they're able to get by. They've had success with veteran backstops. Last year, Higashioka. This year, they're getting no offensive production from these backstops. They're still 8 or 9 games over 500. If it's going to take Ethan Salas, if it's going to take one of my top pitching prospects in the organization, whoever that is, Cash Mayfield, Boston Bateman, Alberto Cruz, whoever it is, like, are you trying to go all out and improve your team or not for 2025 has to be the question for AJ Preller. How many more opportunities do you get with Manny Machado in his prime? How many more? Not a lot. Manny Machado could be in the midst of a career year. We'll see. The power has completely ticked up since you've been gone.
You're welcome.
He's hit 4 home runs, I think, while you were in Maui.
Yeah, that's a Jim Russell special right there for Manny Machado.
Again, it's like Manny's going to be 33 this July. This team ain't getting younger. Is Michael King going to be here next year? No. Is Dylan Cease going to be here next year?
No.
Then go get me a left fielder that completes my lineup. This lineup has been anemic for a month. This team's 19-21 in their last 40 games. You got to improve left field. Simple as that.
Yeah, you got it. You have to improve either left field or catcher. If you can improve both, absolutely, that's like the dream scenario. But if you had to choose one,
I would take left.
Which one are you likely to upgrade at the most? You have the most. You have a better opportunity with left field than catcher. I feel like because you're not going to find
an offensive
catcher out there that can give you the value that you could get in left field.
Right.
And the best part about Jarren Duran is his control. He's under control for
I think it's through 2028.
I think he's a free agent in 2029.
That's crazy. Is that
yeah,
right?
That's right. He's a free agent in 2029.
So I mean, you have to think long and hard.
Arbitration doesn't even start until 2026.
He's making $3 million this year. So you got to think long and hard about controllable players. Who knows how realistic this is, even if they have interest.
It's just a name out there
in this player. But here's the other thing Dennis Lynn wrote about, which is what we've been talking about. As big of an issue as this is, so is the situation with Michael King and Yu Darvish. We'll hear from King directly coming up at a question that was posed by Marty Caswell that was pretty funny. But we got open-ended questions with both of these players. They're optimistic on King, but it's more week to week right now. They're optimistic on Darvish, but it's still week to week right now. The Darvish thing has played out over 3 months. How confident are you that Yu Darvish is helping this team in September and October? How confident are you Michael King is going to be available sooner rather than later? And even if you get them both back, don't you still have to upgrade your rotation in fear that you lose a pitcher down the stretch and it's costly like it was in 2020 and 2022 and 2024? So they have multiple needs like most teams do, but they've got real needs like a starting outfielder and potentially a starting pitcher to get this team where they want to go at some point later this year.
John, you know my antennas have been up about Yu Darvish.
Yep.
For most of the season.
Yep.
You know, after his last rehab start and then being shut down, antennas went boop, full up.
Mm-hmm.
And then people on social media were like, you're an idiot. He's going to pitch again, blah, blah. And it's been way past 10 plus days, guys. Remember that?
It's been like 30.
Yeah. So I am still very concerned about Yu Darvish. Now, he's going to pitch here, I saw somewhere that
Kevin's going to throw a bullpen either today or tomorrow. It's
only like 6 or 7 pitches. I saw
he threw 6 or 7 pitches.
Yeah.
This is off of the 6 or 7 pitches. And to your point, what the hell is 6 or 7 pitches?
Makes no sense.
He threw 6 or 7 pitches. I mean, that's like what's that the equivalent of? Like that would be like us doing a radio show for 4 minutes. Like you're trying to ramp up to 4 hours. A 6-pitch bullpen. I think bullpens are 35, 40 pitches. Or he threw 10% of a bullpen.
Or like before a round of 18, Scotty Scheffler goes and hits like
hole.
He goes to the driving range, hits 3 golf balls. He's like, I'm ready. Yeah, he probably could be fine. But you get my point. Is like you didn't really warm up. You weren't doing anything.
Yeah. What's the ramp up? Let's say the bullpen goes well Tuesday. Then you have another bullpen Friday, and then you have a rehab 5-6 days later. That's the middle of next week. And then you maybe are starting the big leagues another 5-6. I mean, what's possible? 15, 20, 25 days from now? That's after this gauntlet of Dodgers and Giants and Diamondbacks.
I fully believe that there are things with Darvish that are not being told, like said to the public.
Right.
I think they are keeping some things close to the vest on Darvish. I do think there's more there than just this is on Darvish. Like it's up to him when he's going to pitch. I don't think so. I'm sorry. I can't buy it for everything that I've seen with this organization over the last decade plus with injuries and how vague they have been with injuries. I'm not going to buy this latest Darvish stuff until he's back on the mound.
Well, clearly the rehab start in Las Vegas, I think it was May 14th, was an abject failure because it's been 3 weeks. And what on earth happened in this rehab start that has kept him off the mound for 3 weeks? And his first return to the mound is a 6-pitch bullpen.
Right. Well,
so
they'll need him.
That's why I think that adding starting, honestly, at the top of my list is starting pitching.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Over left field. Oh. Last year, Joe Musgrove gets hurt. Your season ends because that game 4 spot. Now he wouldn't have scored a run for them in game 4, but Dylan Cease in game 4 gave you no shot. Like you have to avoid a Joe Musgrove situation. Dinelson Lamet, Mike Clevenger, 2020. Sean Manaea, Mike Clevenger, 2022. Joe Musgrove, 2024.
Well, that's kind of what they're doing here with Darvish. That's what it feels like. Maybe. They're trying to avoid that.
Right, by not pitching.
And maybe they do know, hey, look, dude, if you go out there, you're a ticking time bomb. So let's make sure we have, 6 bullets in the gun. We have to plan these things out so you're not going to blow your arm out before we need you the most. Maybe that's what they're doing. Because that's kind of how it was with Joe last year. And Joe said it and admitted that when he came back,
he knew
his arm was a ticking time bomb.
Yep.
And it wasn't related to the public. It wasn't sourced. It wasn't reported on, right? Until he blew his arm out in the postseason.
That's a fair point.
So
but would you feel good about that, knowing that he was a ticking time bomb and counting on him to pitch effectively if that was the case? Well, the guy hasn't thrown in 6 months.
I forget how many starts Joe had last year, but when Joe was out there, when he was quote unquote healthy, he was effective.
No, he was. And Darvish, we know, would be effective. It's Darvish.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be ineffective.
Right.
All right. More on this on the other side. Trade possibilities for the Padres. We're into June, 52 games until the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Plus, we'll hear from Michael King on the other side. Really interesting back and forth between Marty Caswell, our former colleague,
wait to hear this,
and Michael King. You'll hear it on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. It's Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. This should honestly be today's train wreck radio question, but it's too absurd to do. So I'll ask Jim right now. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We'll hear from Michael King in a moment on his status moving forward. Here's the question, Jim. I'm catching you a little off guard because you've been like on a Hawaiian vacation for the last 9 days.
Yeah.
Can you name the 8 players that have started in left field for the Padres this year?
The 8 players.
8.
Ooh, I like this. I'm going to try.
The 8 players that have started in left field for the Padres this year.
All right. So we got Hayward.
Correct.
Got Lockridge.
Correct.
Got Sheets.
Correct.
Go Tirso Ornelas.
Correct.
Go Oscar Gonzalez.
Correct.
Go Tyler Wade.
Correct. You have 6.
I know. I'm gonna go Jose Iglesias.
Correct.
Because that one game in Sacramento. Dude, one more. I know,
How'd you
right?
pull that one?
I
I would
know.
not have pulled that one. The last remaining one I think is gettable more than Iglesias.
Okay. I got this.
Yep.
I'm not looking at the chat
Yep.
either. Okay. Can I have a lifeline? Can I ask this one question?
Yeah.
Is he currently on the roster right
No.
now? Yuli Gurriel.
No, good guess. Your lifeline, he was a discussion certainly in the offseason and into spring training. We thought he might be part of a platoon heading into the year.
Oh, Connor Joe.
Yeah. So Connor Joe was here for like a day. A lot of these guys, I mean, think about that. That's what they've used in left field. I'm
It's like
willing
throw
to
up on
make
a plane.
let's make a deal. Yeah, like I'm willing to do anything to prevent that from playing out for the next 100 games for the Padres. You can't throw that out there for the next 100 games.
No.
They had Jerks and Profar last year. He was good. Now he's again suspended right now.
I'm not looking at like, oh, they had Jerks and Profar last year. I'm looking at the production that Profar gave them last year is what they had in left field.
Compared
not the
to
player.
this.
The production in left field this year has been downright embarrassing. And we haven't even talked about the catchers yet. I mean, the fact that Martin Maldonado still has a place on this roster is kind of insane.
What other option they have? You got a Luis Campusano who is still looking for a hit. He's still right. I think I have that right. I don't think Luis Campusano.
They haven't. I don't think they've given him a start behind the dish yet.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like you don't have any other options.
Well, that's on them, man. I mean, that's on Preller. Like Preller last year put together a perfect season from a general manager standpoint. Every single move that he made hit. This year, it hasn't been that, and that's kind of the point we were making in the offseason is you can't expect every year, every move that is made by the general manager to work out as perfectly and beautifully as it did in 2024.
Right.
That's just unfair to ask that of your GM.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been moves this year that have worked out well for AJ Preller, Nick Pivetta, Gavin Sheets, absolutely. But again, the hit rate that you were asking AJ Preller to get this offseason with the lack of spending money they had and the moves that he made hoping that they would hit, that's just not fair.
Well, look at it this way. I think I went on some rant on a wrap-up show last week when you were gone because someone's like, this is completely on Preller that he put him in this mess in left field. He had all offseason to figure this out. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, but he had a budget. It's like, how are you going to spend your money? And he went the Pivetta route, which, by the way, was the right route.
Yeah.
And we said all offseason, we had Mike Farron on, I think, at some point in the offseason. And he was like, well, you're downgrading in left field. You just have to make it up somewhere else. I mean, it doesn't matter what they're going to do. They're obviously downgrading in left field. So go make it up elsewhere. And I'd probably prefer to make it up with like starting pitching like Nick Pivetta or my bullpen. I mean, if my starting pitching is better or if my bullpen is better, then I can make up what I'm losing potentially in left field. But it's like they didn't spend any money in left field because they didn't have any money. They spent their money on Pivetta this offseason, and that's why $1 million flyer Hayward, $1 million flyer Yuli Gurriel. I'm with you. I wish some of those would have hit more efficiently or effectively, but at the end of the day, they put no money into left field, which means this was always a possibility.
What's the saying you have? Play silly games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, like play dumb games, win dumb prizes.
That's what it is, yeah.
But would you prefer to get more production out of left field and not have Nick Pivetta?
No.
You know what I mean? Like if you only had that much money, the way they used it, it's hard for me to fault it. And now that it's such a glaring hole, not that you are, I'm just making the point. Now that it's a glaring hole, go make the upgrade.
Yeah, I am not sitting here faulting AJ Preller. Like, does he get the blame when guys don't perform? Yeah,
definitely.
And he gets the credit when guys do perform. Like he gets credit for Gavin Sheets, and he gets credit for Nick Pivetta, absolutely.
Right.
But then his ideas and moves that he made to try to fill in the left field gap and to fill in the catcher gap didn't work. Hasn't worked at all. It's been a failure. So it's like, all right, now I'm sure he has realized that, okay, seen how what he was trying to do in left field to see if a couple guys flyer deals. He probably didn't think they were going to give him Jerks and Profar production, but I also didn't think he would give him this production. Maybe somewhere like closer to in the middle, maybe on the closer end to not great, but not the worst in all of baseball in left field. I mean, it's the numbers are crazy,
right?
And that's what happens when you're a general manager. You make moves and you hope they work, and when they don't work, you pivot and you move on. That's where AJ Preller's at right now, especially with the reports that are coming out. We've talked about this. We've even said before these reports, like, you need to go out and upgrade these guys right now. Left field is not changing. The guys they have out there stink. All right, Gavin Sheets is not a left fielder, and every other player they have that they put in left field sucks.
So that's a good point. I mean, can you wait? Here's the thing. This is like the midterm exam. These 17 games, if you go out there and go 7-10, like, that's an indictment. That's who you are. That's like, these are teams. These are teams you got to beat to get to where you want to go in October. So it's a midseason exam. Like, if you go 7-10 here, can you afford to do that? And can you make upgrades on the other side of it? If you go 10-7 here over the next 17 games, that to me leads me down a path of they'll make some upgrades, but they'll wait this thing off until the trade deadline.
I think regardless of what they do in these next 17 games, an upgrade has to happen.
I agree.
Like, I don't care I don't care if they go 17-0. You have to make an upgrade.
No, they'll make it. Yeah, I probably didn't say it right. They'll make an upgrade, I think, at the deadline. But if they go, let's say they go 6-11 over these 17 games, they go 2-5 against the Dodgers, they go 1-3 in San Francisco, they go 1-2 Milwaukee, right? It's just then you got to make a move. Like, you can't sit around and wait. I'm not saying left field's going to solve this team, but you need to link this lineup up better. You got 3 or 4 hitters at the top of the lineup, and then you got 4 or 5 guys at the bottom of the lineup. You need to find a way to, like, put this thing collectively together. Plus, you need to get this rotation healthy. Yeah. Other than that, everything's fine.
Other than that, everything's great. But seriously, the 6-3 stretch here while I was gone
is good.
After the 0-6 mark that they had right before I left, that's a good righting of the ship.
Yeah.
Like, you had to do that against the teams that you played against. I mean, Atlanta has actually played a lot better, but still, you had to play good baseball and win a series against the Marlins and the Pirates. It was kind of unacceptable if you didn't.
Yeah.
And they did the job. So they got the job done there, but it is still, they went 6-3 and they're playing good. It's like putting lipstick on a pig a little bit. Because there are some glaring holes with this team that you got to address. And, we're going to find a lot out about this team in the next 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Again, if they go out and win 3 out of 4 from San Francisco, it feels differently. But if they lose 3 out of 4 against San Francisco, it feels differently as well. We'll hear from Michael King on the other side. Much more in the Padres. We'll catch up with Kurt Heelan, lead NBA writer for NBCSports.com. We'll get us ready for the Thunder and the Pacers of all finals. That's what we'll get kicking off on Thursday. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
This update is brought to you by Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival. Padres start a 4-game series, with the San Francisco Giants tonight. 6:45 up in the Bay Area. Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres. The NBA Finals, they are set. Pacers and Thunder, they start Thursday in Oklahoma City. Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival by events.com is happening June 20th through the 22nd, featuring Walker Hayes, Cody Jinks, Alabama, Russell Dickerson, Midland, Big and Rich, and more. Get 3 days or a single day ticket now at TemeculaValleyFestival.com.
Big show today. The Padres win the weekend.
Hey, struck him out. The Padres win. Robert Suarez, a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Padres win the series.
SDSU's headed to the pack. Insert number here. And SDFC with a 2-0 win over Austin FC. Plus, Jim's back.
This is Jim.
He takes 7 minutes to prep for the show.
You've been feeling less than optimal.
No honeymoon jokes. Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Kurt Heelan, lead NBA writer, NBCSports.com, will join us at 3:30. Kevin Acee from San Francisco will join us at 5:30. We'll get a Padres lineup presumably at some point within the hour. We'll learn more on Gavin Sheets. Presumably within the next hour or two, we'll hear from Mike Schilt before tonight's game in San Francisco, and then Kevin Acee will join us. I want to hear from Michael King because Darnay had a great tweet yesterday that said 0 days since some completely confusing injury update from the Padres, like a meme that said 0 days because there was a Gavin Sheets injury where Mike Schilt was like, yeah, he's got these 4 injuries. We'll see. But every day, the King thing, what's the deal with his shoulder blade? The Darvish thing, why has it been 3 months? The Sheets injury is the weirdest injury in baseball history. Contusions and jams and this, that, and the other.
So at first, when I saw the Michael King injury news while on a beach in Hawaii, must be nice. I first thought, wait, no, that sleeping wrong. I sleep wrong all the time, but I don't have pinched nerves all over myself. Then I thought,
you will.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then I thought there have been very weird injuries in the history of the sport. I remember a pitcher one time, he was barbecuing Jeremy Affeldt. You know who that is?
Yeah, of course.
He was barbecuing in his backyard, and he accidentally slid his hand or something or whatever.
There's a zillion instances of bizarre injuries.
Yeah, some guy you could be walking wrong and then trip and you twist your ankle. Yeah. So it's not like this is something that never happens before. But I did find it weird because there's always, it seems like, weird injuries that happen with the Padres. And once again, a weird injury that we won't know until we know.
Right. So Kevin Acee reported last week, and we had him on Friday, and we'll have him on again today, that it was the good news is there's no structural damage according to multiple doctors. And it could be anywhere from a week until after the All-Star break. And people took that as a negative, that he said it could be through the All-Star break, but he thought it was a positive because we had him on Friday. He's well, there's no structural damage. So Marty just laid it all out there. You'll hear right here. She just asked Michael King if he was going to pitch again. And this was a pretty hilarious back and forth. Marty Caswell, Michael King yesterday inside the clubhouse.
So you fully expect to pitch again?
Oh, wait. Oh, God, yeah. Clown question, bro.
It wasn't the Bryce Harper clown question where he was serious. He was completely kidding and he was joking, obviously, and you heard the laughs, but it's a fair question. I mean, you fully expect to pitch again. Kevin reporting it's not structural, but there are nerve-related issues going on with Michael King, and he specifically said yesterday, if you listen to the full 3.5 minutes, which I did, that he's unsure of when he will be back, but he's feeling good about the prognosis moving forward.
Any pitching arm-related injuries with any Padres player is always cause for concern.
Yep.
I just don't see how you could not say that. I don't see how you could not think that, because there's been too many instances over the last decade under AJ Preller where there has been a pitching injury and it was reported that he should be back X date, and then he's not back X date. And then, oh, by the way, he's out for the year, or he comes back and gets injured even more.
Yeah.
It's just happened too many times. So once again, my antennas are fully up with Michael King, and I am concerned until I see him back on the mound. I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people that takes everything that I hear from the Padres side as 100% truthful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. There are probably things on a lot of players that they don't report or they don't get out there through the media. It's just, there is no way I'm going to believe 100% of the things the Padres tell us about pitching injuries specifically.
I completely agree. I think that's fair. And oftentimes the players, by the way, they all think because of their abilities that they can get back sooner than necessarily like the medical community would say. Like Joe Musgrove has been saying for months, he hopes to pitch in September.
Yeah, stop.
And in actuality, he's not going to pitch in September, and he's not going to pitch.
I think they're superheroes because of their bodies and
exactly
professional athletes.
So,
I get it.
Yeah. So, yeah, you like the level of confidence, but you're right. I mean, you take everything with a grain of salt, both from the organization, also from the player. I mean, we'll hear from Mike Schill coming up later this afternoon, and he will comment on Gavin Sheets. And what he says may or may not be actually accurate in terms of when we'll see Sheets. Yeah. Like if Sheets isn't in the lineup today, and I'd be very surprised if he was in the lineup today based on what happened yesterday, but I guess we'll find out. If he's not in the lineup, he's going to tell us how he's doing so well and he's feeling so much better and it's day to day. They've always said that. Anytime a player's not in the IL, it's day to day. Once a player goes on the IL, we're confident we'll get him back within the 15 days, right? It always plays out the same way. Not on the IL day to day, to on the IL, we think it's 15 days until you get to the 15-day threshold. And then they say, well, it's not progressing the same way we expected it to progress. The King injury, among everything they're dealing with, Sheets leads the team in RBIs, has had this massive year. Darvish was pitching in game 5 of a postseason series last year at Dodger Stadium. The biggest injury they're dealing with is Michael King. This guy has been their ace for the last 2 years. And he's sidelined right now, and you're pitching Randy Vasquez, who the clock's ticking on him.
Yeah,
Stephen
really
Kolek has been up and down, obviously. Who knows who pitches Tuesday for the Padres? Ryan Berger, potentially.
He is in San Francisco, right? The taxi squad.
But think about that. Like, they're starting pitching. That's an issue right now. And that's not necessarily their fault. They have injuries, but it's a significant issue heading into the 17-game stretch.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest concerns right now, probably the biggest concern with the Padres. You hear Michael King there and he sounds upbeat and that's great. And he says that he 100% will pitch again this year.
Yep.
I just hope that's not used as a old takes exposed clip.
Right.
Because nerve damage or nerve pinching the nerve in your shoulder, like, forever, for how long he's going to be out. And nobody knows. Like they'll tell us, they'll say like, oh, it'll be reported like 3 weeks or whatever. Nobody knows. All right. He's going to have to make rehab starts. He's going to have to do bullpens. Like this is not like, 3 weeks. He's right back out there on the mound. Looks exactly like Michael King did before he got injured by sleeping wrong on his shoulder.
Right.
Which I do believe, but man, to miss that much time for sleeping wrong on a shoulder, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And he was asked yesterday as well, like, have you begun like the ramp up process, or have you thought about the ramp up? He's like, no, it's too soon for a ramp up. And you, like you just said, the ramp ups are long. It's a bullpen or two, it's a rehab or two. How are you feeling? The whole thing with pitching takes forever. With the hitters, they come back. Like Jake Cronenworth breaks his ribs, back in there 3 weeks later. But with a pitcher, you don't break your ribs. That's not the best example. But oftentimes with the pitching injury, they're so much more cautious in the process, which I understand. Well, and that's why I'm not holding my breath. He's going to be back in like 7 days.
So, again, let's look at the injuries that have happened this year. And then what was said about those injuries with what then happened immediately following those injuries.
Merrill.
Yu Darvish. Yeah. In spring training. We were told he's just, a little sore. He wasn't throwing, and then he was throwing and should be back in a couple of weeks. It's now June 2nd. He hasn't pitched in a Major League Baseball game this year. Jackson Merrill. Oh, he's a little tight. The hammy, day to day. IL, missed 3, almost a month.
25 games, maybe.
Jake Cronenworth. Oh, he's a little sore. Cracked rib. Out for 3 weeks, almost a month. Michael King. Oh, I slept wrong. Did you what? Who knows? Who knows? All right. Gavin Sheets right now. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's I don't believe anything until they are back on the field. That's just how I view it. And it sucks because that's where I'm at with anything the Padres relay to the public. Whatever Mike Schultz says today about Gavin Sheets, I'm just not going to believe it until I see Gavin Sheets back in a cage or he's in a lineup. That's when I'm like, okay, cool, he's back. But I'm not going to believe anything they say. I'm just not. And it sucks because the two guys that we just talked about, Sheets and King, are huge pieces of this team, especially Michael King. Like, that is a huge injury. And by the way, like, how did all of a sudden now? I'm not like blaming King for this. I'm just asking a question. How did however he slept wrong, how did that hurt his shoulder? I'm sure he's not like all of a sudden thought about, his sleeping habits over the years. Like, oh man, I have to sleep a certain way or I'm going to be on my shoulder. This happened to me before. I don't recall a time in Michael King's career where he's had this instant happen to him. Has that question been asked to Michael King? Like, have you slept wrong before?
I mean, we've all been there.
We have been there.
I mean? And again, if you're a professional pitcher, I get how it could impact your ability to pitch. But am I a little guarded with, is that 100% truthful? Is that seriously how he suffered this quote unquote injury from the way he slept? Or was there something more there? And they're using like the guise of the way that he slept as the reason for the injury. I don't know the answer to that.
I would love if somebody out there, Marty, Darnay, whoever, like, I'll ask Kevin today. Kevin, can you ask Michael King if he's ever slept wrong before where he's hurt his shoulder like this?
It's one of those, it is a weird thing, but again, I think it's one of those things that everyone who's ever woken up and be like, what is, like, that's a bad feeling. You know, the feeling where you like can't turn your neck left or right.
Oh, in general. Then I went to a chiropractor.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine pitching on a big league mound.
Aaron had that. But she was dealing with other stuff too, right, where she like slept wrong and she couldn't move.
Exactly.
Now she's not a professional athlete.
That's the thing.
But
so like I could see how it could be impactful, and also I could see how it could happen just by sleeping wrong. But again, is it really going to cost you weeks on end sleeping wrong? And by the way, if Gavin Sheets is not in the lineup tonight, consider this. In his career against Logan Webb, he's 5 for 10 in his career. And you can't make up for not having Gavin Sheets in your lineup. It'll be interesting to see the Padres lineup if he does indeed miss tonight's game. All right, on the other side, again, coming up at 3:30, Kurt Heelan, NBCSports.com will get us ready for game one of the NBA Finals on Thursday. Plus, what has gone wrong for Fernando Tatis Jr. in the midst of the worst slump of his career? We'll take a further dive. All right, stay with us. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Wednesday at 6 right here on San Diego Sports 760. We've got SDFC Midweek Live. You'll hear from Mikey Varis, the head coach, interviews with players and coaches as well. Find out the latest club and MLS information. SDFC Midweek Live every Wednesday at 6 on your home for SDFC. San Diego Sports 760. Well, Jim was gone. Does he realize this? I had Darren Smith in studio for an hour.
Whoa.
Before SDFC played their midweek match on the road. Darren was here for an hour. He had he was like John Schaefer.
Oh, must be nice.
When I do like Aztec pre, half, and post, because he came in early, he hung out with me, then he did pregame with Adrian Garcia Marquez. He called the match. He did postgame.
Wow.
So it was good to catch up with Darren. I don't think we made fun of you very often during that hour. Maybe just a few times.
I'm surprised by that.
I forget. Do you remember, Brent? Did we had to, right?
Of course you did.
No, we did.
What did we say?
Just the usual.
Yeah. Which was what?
Jim's not here, but we don't really miss him. And
Right. Okay. Yeah, we did say that. That's right.
and
cares about
Oh,
Jim?
I was like,
Jim's
I'm like, are you looking for a
soft
job?
and-
Do you want to work with me?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where the 7 minutes of Jim's preparation came
Oh,
from.
yeah, that might have come up. I think, yeah.
Oh, it takes
You
me
can
7
listen back.
I prep for the show. You only do 7 minutes of prep time.
I don't recall either of us giving you that much credit and saying you prepped for 7 minutes, but it may have come up.
7 minutes is 7 minutes longer than
The prep for today.
the prep for the day. Yeah.
Kurt Heelan will join us from NBC Sports. We'll get ready for the NBA Finals coming up at 3:30. All right, Fernando Tatis Jr., is there a reason here? By the way, this slump, which is the worst of his career in terms of length of time and his overall batting average, does coincide with him getting hit by that pitch in Pittsburgh. Remember that when his arm exploded?
Oh,
You
yeah.
talk about a bee sting.
Yep.
His arm had like a bowling ball on it that one day.
Yep.
Now, he didn't miss any time, but since that moment, 27 games, since that moment, he's hit 179. His OPS is 615. He looks like a shell of himself. And I had a good at bat yesterday walking in that 4-run inning in the 7th inning, but was 0 for 3. How concerning are Fernando Tatis Jr.'s month-long struggles? It's now June, and in the last 27 games, he's hit a $179. Are you concerned?
Yes. How could you not be at least a little concerned?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing with Tatis is staying healthy. Stays healthy, he's going to put up numbers.
Right.
So now you wonder, is he not healthy? Is he playing through an injury like he played through last year before it was too much, where he had to put on the IL for a couple months because he had that stress reaction in his leg? But he was playing through it for the whole year.
Right.
And then he had time off and he healed up to as best he was going to heal up in the time that he was allotted. And he came back in September, and then in the postseason, he was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the biggest question is there an injury there that we just don't know about that he's dealing with? And maybe it is the arm, or because everything right now, if you look at his ground ball rate recently, he's turned into Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, and even if it is an injury, to your point, though, this guy has played on broken legs and performed at a higher clip than he has with what he's dealing with right now. Now, that's a different injury.
Right, but also
Yeah.
if you look back, I bet you if you look back at his numbers last year, and he was an all-star last season, if you remember.
I do.
He was an all-star, but there was a stretch there where he, didn't look right.
Yeah.
So that's always the first question with me with Tatis is when he's struggling, is he dealing with something that we don't know?
Or what about off the field? The whole
yeah.
non-happy Tatis narrative.
Yeah, there's that too, because you have to remember these guys are humans. They're just like us. They're no different.
Right.
They're just richer than us.
And on pedestals and asked to perform,
Yes,
and we watch
of
them
course.
each and every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're criticized and praised and all the above, for sure. But they are human beings, and they do have lives outside of baseball. And there are things that would affect your on-field play, just like we've said before. There are things in our lives that would affect
the show
and impact us on the show. So maybe that is the case, right? There's wild speculation all the time about Tatis out there. That I'm just not going to go down that road. But still, it's to be said, there are things outside of baseball that could affect people's play on the field. Absolutely.
By the way, we'll get to the phones in a moment if you want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Before Tatis went on the IL last year and was an all-star, he hit 279 with an 821 OPS. He had 14 home runs. That was an 80 game. So actually, he didn't hit for a ton of power, but did hit 279 before going on the IL after 80 games. All right, 877-767-4760. Michael wants to weigh in. Michael, thanks for calling in. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey, Jon and Jim, thank you very much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I was thinking up of a person we could get in left field in a trade, and I haven't heard the name of anybody mention him yet. And he plays for the Sacramento A's in Tyler Soderstrom.
Soderstrom.
He's got like 4 more years of control. Last year he was a rookie. He hits good for average. He's a thumper. He can bop the ball right out of the park. He's young. I don't know what we'd have to give up for him, but I wouldn't think it'd be too much. I was just thinking a possibility.
We appreciate it, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
The one thing I would say is that you look at a player that's young in the A's organization that's controllable. Is that the type of player for the A's? I guess you're looking to move any piece if you can get multiple pieces in return. But if you got a player that's controllable for the next 3+ years, is that the type who's been productive? Is that the type of player you're moving if you're the Athletics?
Yeah, you got 12 homers this year, 11 doubles, 36 RBIs, 802 OPS, and a 1.3 WAR.
I mean, that's a nice name. I mean, the A's have fallen completely out of it. They had a nice 40 or 50 games. They did.
They lost like 20 in a row.
The wheels completely fell off.
Right.
Now their future is brighter than it probably was a couple of years ago. But I mean, if you're the Athletics, are you going to move off pieces to keep getting younger, even if you have a young piece that's produced for you?
Probably not.
Probably. I wouldn't think that would be the type of piece I would want to move if I was the Athletics.
Yeah. When you look at the really, really bad teams in baseball, and you look at their young players that might be performing, just because the team's bad doesn't mean that they're going to just trade anybody.
Right.
They're going to want to get rid of, like the Pittsburgh Pirates, for example. They're probably going to want to not trade any young talent on their team, like Tyler or what's his name?
O'Neal Cruz.
O'Neal Cruz, sorry, not Tyler.
He's like the best player in the sport that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah, like O'Neal Cruz, that's off limits.
Right.
Paul Skeens, obviously off limits.
Yep.
They're going to want to trade. They're going to want to trade Tommy Pham.
Yeah, like
they're going to want
McCutchen,
potentially Andrew McCutchen, guys that they maybe have signed to 1-year deals that they could get back some prospects back, but they're not going to trade guys under team control like Tyler Soderstrom that he's under control till 2030. So
like that's the last player I would want to move.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Yeah,
I good job, Michael. I like the thinking maybe outside the box a little bit, but at the same time, you're going to look for guys like, Jarren Duran is a player that was named today.
Mm-hmm.
And we were even talking like, why do the Red Sox want to trade him? That was the first question asked. Why would they want to trade him? I know they have talent that he's blocking potentially,
and they've underperformed.
But the dude is also under control for so long. He just came off of like a insane year.
I'm even skeptical of the idea, obviously, of the Padres adding Jarren Duran. You're going to have to move heaven and earth to add a player of that caliber. All right, Kurt Heelan, lead NBA writer for NBCSports.com. Let's get ready for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Thunder and Pacers is your NBA Finals. So get us ready on the other side. Great giveaways today. Kevin Acee at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival. Padres and Giants start a 4-game series up in San Francisco tonight. 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolek is on the mound for the Padres. We are still waiting to see an update on Gavin Sheets, if he'll be in the lineup or not. And the NBA Finals are set. Pacers and Thunder, they get underway Thursday in Oklahoma City. Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival by events.com is happening June 20th through the 22nd, featuring Walker Hayes, Cody Jinks, Alabama, Russell Dickerson, Midland, Big and Rich, and more. Get 3-day or single-day tickets now at TemeculaValleyFestival.com.
All right, let's turn our attention to the NBA Finals for the first time today. We've talked so much Padres. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, will join us at 5:30. But great to reconnect with Kurt Heelan, lead NBA writer, NBCSports.com. We know the Finals matchup is set. Pacers and Thunder. Kurt, we appreciate you joining us once again in San Diego. Just a general question for you. What's your preference? This kind of new blood with teams that we don't see each and every year? Pacers with a Tyrese Halliburton, OKC with a number of young stars, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Or would you prefer the old guard, where you see more of LeBron or Steph or a KD in the NBA Finals? What's your preference? Because we're getting obviously a little bit of the new world here in 2025.
Yeah, it is a changing of the guard kind of year. What I really want to see is high-level basketball, which theoretically you should get in the finals anyway. Yeah. But there's been more of that from the young guard lately. And I think that this is a matchup that just pairs better. Like, right, these are two kind of teams that, frankly, want a little chaos. They want to play up tempo. They want to force turnovers. They want to have this kind of up and down, more exciting game. And in a lot of ways, to me, that's a little more exciting than, look, last year we had bigger names and bigger brands, right? But Luka Doncic, for as great as he is, man, it's a lot of isolation and guys trying to play off of him and so, some pick and roll. And Boston's a little bit the same way. They can be a little bit station to station at times. I think this is going to be more entertaining basketball. So I'm kind of excited about that. And, maybe, just maybe, guys, the NBA should have tried to promote some of the young stars more during the season. Hypothetically.
Yeah, that would be nice. Idea. Instead of now everyone complaining like, oh, it's going to be the worst rated finals ever. I mean, yeah, the ratings might not be good, but as you said, basketball could be at an all-time high here with these two teams. When you look at first glance here, Kurt, is it going to be really hard to pick against the Thunder?
Yes. For me, it really comes down to this, and it's funny. I was just writing my preview that's got to go up tomorrow for NBC while doing this, and it comes down to this for me. Tyrese Halliburton's a really good player coming into his own. He's a top 10 player in the league, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is better, right? And Indiana forces some turnovers, and they've been playing good defense, but Oklahoma City does all of that much better. And Miles Turner's hit some shots, but Chet Holmgren is better. And I can keep going down the list, but like, Oklahoma City just does everything better than Indiana. And as well as Indiana's playing, I can't see them winning more than 1 or 2 games.
Kurt Heelan is with us right now, lead NBA writer, NBCSports.com. So let's say that plays out. Let's say the Thunder win the finals in 5 games, just hypothetically. Would you consider the 2025 Thunder historically good?
Whew, that's a good question, because they are statistically.
Yep.
But it's I have trouble doing that with teams that are that I don't know, how should I put this, that are one-offs. And I don't know that this team is going to be a one-off because they're so young and they aren't even up. Everybody's dealing with the second apron of the luxury tax. They're not there yet because Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, guys, remember, they're on their rookie contract still. Yeah. This is, they have built this team fast and it's really thrived. So they're not there yet. I guess what I would say is I just have trouble putting them there yet because I'm not ready to go there with the Thunder yet. But I might look back on that differently in 3 or 4 years.
So if the Pacers have a chance to win this series, what do they need to do against the Thunder, hypothetically here, to give them the best chance?
First off, don't turn the ball over, which they don't do. Tyrese Halliburton's really good with the ball. As a team, they don't turn the ball over. it's one thing to say that, though, and it's another to do that against the Thunder defense when they're swarming.
Right.
They're going to have to hit mid-range shots and have to hit a lot of corner threes. They're going to have to really hit the opportunities they get. They're going to have to shoot at a high level. And you're going to have a huge series from Nembhard and Neesmith defending Shea. Like, you're going to have to force other guys to beat you and then hope that, look, Jalen Williams kind of stepped up last series and had some big games. That might happen, but you've got to force that over letting Shea beat you, because they played twice this season and Shea scored 78 combined points on a ridiculous shooting percentage in those games. If that happens again, it's not going to last that long.
I heard the most ridiculous stat. I'm sure you're aware of it, Kurt. I think they just popped it up on the bottom line when, Jim, you were away last week. Oklahoma City against the Eastern Conference this year. Have you seen this, Jim?
No.
Is 29-1. So I'll ask it the other way, because I said if Oklahoma City wins it, is it a historic season? If Indiana wins it, is it a historic upset?
Absolutely. Yes. I think it is, just because this is a 68 win powerhouse team. So this is that has just motored through the playoffs, by the way. Denver obviously took them 7. So I guess motored might be a strong word, but Denver might go into this postseason now feeling a little differently than they did after the season ended, because they're like, maybe we were the second best team. So I think it would be a historic upset. I think it would be, just because, the Pacers were the 4 seed and they weren't really seeming that threatening going into the postseason, and at least not on the level of the teams at the top of that conference. If they were to pull this off and go all the way, it would be one of the biggest surprise since 2004 when the Lakers lost to the Pistons, and that Pistons team was pretty good, man.
Yeah. Kurt, I want to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think we can all agree if the Knicks ended up making the finals, they would have had like 0 shot against the Thunders, the way the style they play. So it depended on Jalen Brunson, but getting to the finals would have been a huge deal for the Knicks. They haven't been in forever, right? So was this, like, how big of a missed opportunity was this for the Knicks with home court? The number 1 seed upset. They upset the Celtics. Tatum goes down. How big of a missed opportunity was this for the Knicks just to get to the finals?
Yeah, this would have been their first time in the finals since the movie The Matrix was in theaters.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It was here's the thing. I think it was a big blown opportunity, because I'm not sure they're going to get another one.
Yeah.
Even in next year's East, which is without Jason Tatum, without Damian Lillard for much or all of the season, feels a little more wide open, especially if Giannis goes west. Guys, is it just me, or does it feel like we saw the best of the Knicks? Let's put it this way. Do you think they can do this with Towns and Brunson as their 2 best players?
Probably not. They need maybe more.
Yeah, I think they need more around them, and they've got to get Tibbs to buy into, finally forced to in the last couple of games. He started playing Landry Shamet and some guys off the bench, and it worked. They've got to get him more talent off the bench, get him to trust it, and that team's got to become much better defensively around Towns and Brunson, because I don't think we can expect them to suddenly start defending really well. And Towns's defensive weaknesses were on full display in Game 6. Like, he was just not good on that end of the floor. And if you're going to win with those 2 guys as your best players, then you're going to have I don't want to say a better version of Mitchell Robinson, the best version of Mitchell Robinson, but you've got to have him out there more than 20 something minutes, a couple, 20, 25 minutes a game. I just don't know that they're going to be able to put all that together fast enough in an East where the Pacers are good and the Cavaliers will probably figure some things out. And by the way, teams like Orlando are climbing and Detroit is climbing, and it's not going to be it's a down year, but I don't know that the Knicks are going to be good enough to pull this off. I feel like they missed their window.
Kurt Heelan with us right now, lead NBA writer, NBCSports.com. You mentioned Giannis. We may have asked you this when you were on with us a couple of weeks ago, but do you see any front runners or right fits for Giannis this summer?
So here's the buzz that's kind of going around. A, that he's going to look at the situation and maybe not move. And I'm not all the way there yet. Like, I think he's still more likely than not, but his problem is the teams that can offer the best offers and frankly would become instant contenders out west, San Antonio or Houston, both great fits, but hey, welcome to the West, right? Like, where you're still going to have to get by this Oklahoma City team that's going to run it back. And the Lakers are going to get Luka and LeBron a center. And we could keep going down the list. Jokic is still there, and they'll probably put some more depth around him. And so, like, the West is just brutal. And so, is that where you want to go? If the answer is no, if you want to stay in the East, then you're going to decimate whatever team you go to. It's going to be Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks. Well, we don't have anything left to put around you, but we got you. So congratulations. So I'm just not sure. Toronto has become an interesting name. They would go all in and they could put him with Scotty Barnes and maybe that starts to work, but that name's come up a lot. But if he stays in the East, I'm not sure. He try to force his way to the Knicks, or something, but I'm not sure what that trade looks like. And you're getting 3 or 4 teams involved and it's just kind of messy.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating summer when it comes to Giannis, obviously, but we're looking forward to the NBA Finals Game 1 getting underway on Thursday night. Kurt, we really appreciate your perspective. Again, for our listeners, make sure to check out his work, NBCSports.com. And Kurt, enjoy the finals and look forward to catching up again soon, all right?
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, I got to say, as somebody who's traveling with the finals and leaves tomorrow, I kind of was rooting for the Knicks because I'd rather spend a week in New York than Indianapolis, but here we are. How
is the travel? Is a direct flight to both Indy and okay? How is it?
I don't want to go too far down this is great radio road, but right. There is not a direct flight from Indianapolis to Oklahoma City.
Wow.
In fact, I'm connecting because the times work better for me. Uh-huh. I'm actually connecting through Charlotte.
Oh, I had never even thought about that.
Not exactly direct.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. That's such a good. You can't go direct from Indianapolis to Oklahoma City. I never.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
Well, we're going to see again
Good
two
luck,
of the smaller markets on display, but hopefully a couple of stars on display as well. And hopefully it'll be a good long series as well. Hey. Kurt, appreciate the time and safe travels. All right.
I'm sure I can find a good steak in Oklahoma City. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt. All right, thanks, Kurt. Kurt Heelan, again, lead NBA writer, NBCSports.com. We're going to get back to the Padres on the other side. The lineup is out. Is Gavin Sheets in it or not? Plus, Kevin Acee, your Padres insider, will join us at 5:30. We'll hear from Mike Schilt still ahead as well. This is Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now. Keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Someone asked a good question, by the way. You can read the Padres lineup in a moment, but someone said, why would you tease if Gavin Sheets is in the lineup or not in the age of smartphones? Like, well, the business is like, I'm taking people behind the curtains for a second. We're supposed to keep our listeners with us. And I am not a brilliant like tease artist. There's some people that are like spectacular with like keeping the audience.
No, you are a good tease.
I'm fine.
Teaser.
Some people are better, some people are worse. Whatever. I thought that was a fair tease. Like, hey, the Padres lineup is out. Is Gavin Sheets in it? Like, and the point is a valid one. With smartphones, can I just go to my phone and look? Of course you can. I would say to those watching us on YouTube, for example, a lot of our listeners, the way a lot of people consume the radio is in a car. So a lot of people aren't on their smartphones in the car, though.
Or they're running the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, exactly. So you're on the go. So I would say that a lot of people, if you're in a vehicle, you might wait 3 or 4 minutes to find out if Gavin Sheets is in the lineup. The point's valid. You could just go online to find an answer to that. But that's basically everything now. So you really can't tease anything in theory under the premise that everything is on a smartphone.
How about this tease?
Okay, let me hear it.
This is a tease without having people be like, I'm just going to my smartphone.
Okay.
The Padres lineup is out and Gavin Sheets is not in it. We'll react to that coming up next.
Right, but is that like I got to stay in my driveway before I go into my home? How will they make up for the loss of Gavin Sheets? We've got the latest.
Could go that route.
And how will they make it? So what is the line? What is so Gavin Sheets though is out.
Yeah. He is out of the lineup. Yeah. First off, the Padres Twitter account. They posted the lineup.
Yeah.
And you know how they have to come up with some corny saying all the time?
Like every Saturday.
Like everything is a corny saying.
Right. It's never like game 1 of 4 against the Giants.
Never. They put, we out here trying to function. You know what that's from?
No. And Tryna was spelled Tryna.
Right.
No. What is that from?
Because they're in the Bay Area and E40 has a song, I believe, called Function.
E40 Function.
Yeah.
Featuring YG.
Yeah. We're trying to function.
Is it bad if I told you I don't really know who E40 is?
Oh.
Brent says it's not bad. Well, how would I know E40? Seriously.
Well, he's a Bay Area rapper.
Okay.
So maybe that's why you don't know him.
Yeah.
John, he had like one song when we were in college, John. So don't feel
what's
bad.
the equivalent of me? This isn't like me not knowing like what the Titanic is, right?
No. Yeah. But I feel like E40's.
Yeah, you're saying it's a little household? Like I should know who he is.
He's not like the most popular rapper of all time, but anyway.
More or less famous than Eddie Vedder.
Right.
Less.
Okay. Less.
So we out here trying to function.
Yeah.
Is what they said for the lineup.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of random?
Yeah. Well, there's also been a little controversy with the Padres Twitter. Do you see about that?
No. And I've been here and you've been in Hawaii. What's the controversy?
I briefly saw something where they were stealing content, or at least using the phrases that other Padres Twitter people have used.
Oh, like what? Like power of friendship? Friendship inning?
I think it was Gavin Sheets' home run, and they mentioned Derry Bonds, and that's the boys over at DSG. Divine Gospels. Didn't
they used to do that with Vibes Above Replacement?
They did.
Profar?
They used VAR. They used that.
I kind of like taking the voice of the fan base and bringing it to the club, but you should probably like credit them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because now people are like, oh, the Padres did something hilarious.
Right,
it's
right. Like, no, they didn't come up with that.
I don't even think Divine Gospel, the boys over there, they came up with Derry Bonds but I don't know. I don't even know where
someone did.
Someone did.
And it probably wasn't the Padres Twitter handle.
It probably wasn't.
Right.
I can tell you it 100% wasn't. Anyway, besides their cringy posts all the time, the lineup is Tatis, Arise, Manny's the DH today, Merrill, Bogarts, Crony, Wade's in left field, Iglesias at second, Diaz is behind the plate, Kolek on the mound.
Wow, look at that lineup.
Wow, look at that. You know what that proves to me? You know what that lineup proves to me?
They need help.
That you can't make up for not having Gavin Sheets, who was...
Imagine saying that. Imagine I told you at the beginning of the year.
2 months ago.
We're going to say on June 2nd those words.
I mean, Gavin Sheets is a piece of their now and their future. He's controllable for multiple years. He leads the team in RBIs. He's hitting left and right-handed pitching. He's hit for power. I I mean, they need him. In a lineup that has struggled as much as the Padres lineup, he is a necessity. And now you're going into the series, at least without him in game one. I need to hear from Mike Schilt, who's going to speak to the media. And once he does, we'll share that with our listeners. But wouldn't you agree, like, not having Gavin Sheets? Name a player other than Manny Machado that's less replaceable right now than Gavin Sheets.
That's crazy to say.
Isn't it true, though?
Like saying it out loud and hearing those words be said. Like,
who would you prefer to be out tonight? Bogarts or Sheets?
Oh, Bogarts.
Cronenworth or Sheets?
Cronenworth.
Toddy or Sheets? Tonight only.
No. Tonight only?
Tonight only. I tried to catch you.
No.
But Tatis might need an off day. He's not going to get it now.
No, he might, but still. You never want to take him out of the line.
That's the point. It's like this guy's a super valuable piece. Again, he's not the most valuable piece, but he's one of your most valuable pieces.
He has been one of your most valuable pieces. Gavin Sheets has turned into this year's version of what Jurickson Profar was last year. Maybe not to this extent. Maybe to this extent. I don't know. Maybe he's actually better. I have to compare the numbers from this time last year with Profar and this time right now with Gavin Sheets. Maybe Gavin Sheets has been better.
It probably has been.
I think he might have. And that's just me without looking at the exact numbers at the exact times.
What is the total in this game? Like, is it going to be like a 1.5 runs scored tonight? Logan Webb. I mean, Stephen Kolek. I mean, he allowed 6 runs his last time out. The Padres are significant underdogs tonight to start this 7-game road trip, and 14 of the next 17 are on the road. You heard me right. 14 of the next 17 are on the road. The only 3 at home are against the Dodgers, and you're starting this road trip without Gavin Sheets. I mean, the last thing any Padres fan needs is Gavin Sheets not being available for a period of time.
It's just so funny.
I know, it sounds
talking
weird
about
to say
this,
like that,
because there was no world where those words that just came out of your mouth were things that I thought would be said this year.
You're right. It does sound weird when you come back from Hawaii and the first thing that I say is like, you can't live without Gavin Sheets.
Like,
remember the Toronto game they lost? 2 home runs, another run producing hit, 5 RBIs. This guy's been their best hitter.
Now, the one thing about this series, and T. Kelly in our YouTube chat has made a great point. While the Padres have been struggling on offense.
Yep. So
have you looked at the Giants numbers lately?
Right.
They also have been struggling on offense.
And as a team, right?
Oh, yeah. Willie Adames, their big acquisition in the offseason, he's been awful.
Mm-hmm.
He's turned into like Xander Bogaerts 2.0, but worse for them. They don't have a like power bat in the middle of their lineup like a Machado or Merrill or even Tatis to lead off.
Yep.
Jung Hoo Lee's been a really nice player for them. But other than that, like their offense is sputtering. I think we joked about it before the show. Take the half run in tonight's game potentially.
First to 1.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because both teams are just not scoring at all right now. And they don't have 2, 3, or even 4 guys in a lineup that are all consistently hitting. It's been a crapshoot. And the Padres bottom of the lineup, yucky. So they're gonna need, with Gavin Sheets out tonight, their best hitter, they're gonna need Merrill and Tatis and Arise and Bogarts. They have plenty. They have enough to win tonight, even without Gavin Sheets.
You're right.
So there's still no excuses. Especially with this offense, you need your guys to perform. If Tatis wasn't in such a big slump, things would be a lot different. A lot different.
Yeah, like, are we asking for too much for Tatis to do something?
No,
because that's what I'm asking for here tonight. Can we quickly sneak in this call or not, Brent? Let's sneak in a call. Andrew's been patient. He's on line 1. Andrew, thanks for calling into Jon and Jim. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, Tatis should never swing at the ball. He's fast enough to score 120 runs, okay?
Okay.
At least take it 2 strikes. He's good enough. If you think he's a superstar, then he should be able to swing with 2 strikes all the time. And they're scared of him, so they'll probably walk. They probably walk 2 or 3 times a game, you know?
Toddy?
Okay, that's one issue.
Okay.
I think you should move what's his name? Arise to number 3.
Okay.
Move Morrow up to 2nd.
Okay.
And then I think we have to make a trade for Andrew McCutchen.
Okay. And so where are you hitting Tatis?
So he's pretty reasonable, right?
Well, I mean, I feel like McCutchen went back to Pittsburgh to retire as a Pirate potentially, but he doesn't have a ring, right? No, he does not.
No, he does not.
Okay, then that might light a little fire under him. All we're gonna do is rent him for half a year.
Where was
and maybe
Tatis
give him
going to hit?
2-year option?
Was Tatis going to hit at the top of your lineup, or where were you putting Tatis in that?
Yeah,
lineup?
I'll leave him at first, but he doesn't need to swing all the time.
Okay.
I mean, every time I turn on the radio, he swings at the first pitch, a hard grounder. Yeah. Take 2 strikes. If you got to go full count on him, make him work the pitcher work. But he's too anxious up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Andrew. Appreciate it, man.
Andrew's got to figure it out.
Just never swing, and start your at bat with 2 strikes.
We got a $340 million guy getting just don't swing.
Don't swing the bat.
Just get walks, because you remember how everyone loved it when Juan Soto got walks.
Yeah, exactly.
Just walk.
And I don't know if Tatis, if he walks every single time, is going to all of a sudden become like Ricky Henderson. I don't think he's stealing 120 bags. But
no.
Listen, I get it. I get the takes. All right. On the other side, we're going to get to the wrap to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim. Still ahead, we have a 4-pack of tickets to give away to the San Diego County Fair. And we have a 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That's coming up June 19th. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. And we'll hear from Mike Schilt. The latest on Gavin Sheets is ahead. Hour 3, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. That's next.
This update's brought to you by Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival. Padres and Giants start a 4-game series tonight in the Bay Area. 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres. Gavin Sheets not in tonight's lineup. We'll get more from Mike Schilt coming up here later in the hour. And the NBA Finals, they are set Thursday. Game 1, Pacers and Thunder in Oklahoma City. That's the start of this year's NBA Finals. Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival is happening June 20th through the 22nd, featuring Walker Hayes, Cody Jinks, Alabama, and more. Tickets are available now at Temecula Valley Festival.com, powering the best events from start to finish, events.com.
Big show today. The Padres win the weekend.
They struck him out. The Padres win. Robert Suarez, a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Padres win and win the series.
SDSU's headed to the pack. Insert number here. And SDFC with a 2-0 win over Austin FC. Plus, Jim's back.
This is Jim.
He takes 7 minutes to prep for the show.
If you've been feeling less than optimal,
No honeymoon jokes. Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair this hour. That will get underway June 11th in Del Mar. We'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley next hour. That'll be June 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. As Jim just said, we'll hear from Mike Schilt later this hour. The latest on Gavin Sheets, who is out of the lineup here tonight after colliding with the wall. Schulte joking post-game yesterday, the wall is okay.
I'm glad.
Everyone's got jokes, man.
Until those jokes turn into he's out for 3 weeks because he has a concussion or something wrong with his hip or hand.
They cannot afford that. So hopefully we'll get some encouraging news on Gavin Sheets coming up.
We have some encouraging news. Kind of.
Is it on Sheets?
It is on Sheets.
It's like he's feeling so good that's why he's not alive. He's feeling too good.
It's
feels so good he could run through a wall.
Yeah, being reported right now. It's not a report. It's from his mouth. Gavin Sheets said that he is available to come off the bench tonight.
Oh, everything's fine. Well, then maybe he'd be available to start.
My guess, I know. My guess is erring on the side of caution.
Typically, when someone says they're available off the bench, you don't see them. Like if it was game 4 of the World Series, you'd see them.
But that also means that the likelihood of them being in the lineup in the next couple of days is pretty high if they're available off the bench.
Yeah, I agree. That it's truly day to day.
Right.
If someone's available off the bench. Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe he's in the lineup tomorrow or Wednesday. So that's encouraging. We'll hear from Mike Schilt on that coming up. We'll hear from Kevin Acee, who will join us at 5:30. We're here until 6 p.m. Right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
The Oklahoma City Thunder. Sorry to your wife, Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen's a diehard Pacer fan. I was looking up tickets. She doesn't know this. Actually, she does because I told her. But I didn't say I was looking up for her.
Oh, yeah.
It's like $900 to get it to Indianapolis.
Well, you have to buy a flight.
Oh, it's like $2,000, right? You got to. Can you even fly from San Diego to Indy? Stop.
Maybe.
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
San Diego to Indy. What? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm taking the Thunder in 6 here. They are inevitable. They're not my favorite style to watch. Shea still, he's actually kind of grown on me a little bit, just a little bit, but I'm still like meh on the Thunder, but they're going to win this series and they're going to win the finals. And Shea will be the finals MVP.
There's a Southwest nonstop, at least July 21st came up.
Oh.
So in about 7 weeks.
Perfect. So the end of the finals when it's already over.
It's like a month after. $403 round stop on Southwest.
Not
from
bad.
San Diego to Indianapolis this summer.
Book it.
Should I book
We'll
that
call
for-
David Silver so he can delay it.
Let me go to SeatGeek just to see. Let's say, what do you think game 1 prices are? Oklahoma City. So this is at Oklahoma City. What do you think the get-in is?
$750.
Right now is $521. Okay. I click on it $632. And then the
Not bad.
get-in in Indiana for the Pacers, let's say game 3
You
is
said like 900, right?
is $722 for game 3, $777 for Friday night.
This is the smallest market NBA finals in the modern era. So both markets, it's the smallest combined. Like we've had finals before with a big market team and a small market team before. Like back in the early 2000s, the Lakers and the Pacers, right? But LA was in it. But we already know it's going to be one of the worst rated NBA finals in history. Just get that out of the way. That's what's going to happen. And it might turn into just the Thunder are inevitable type of series.
Look at it this way, by the way. If you combine the city populations of Indianapolis and Oklahoma City, you equal the county of San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that. That does not include San Diego proper, but you're basically looking at Oklahoma City and Indianapolis equal roughly a San Diego county. That does not include San Diego proper, which is much larger. So yeah, you're spot on. I'm excited to see these two teams, truthfully. I do think Oklahoma City will win this series, even though I'll be rooting for Indiana, as will my wife. I say Oklahoma City in 6.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Okay.
Thunder in 6.
Yeah, Thunder at 6.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep, same thing. Next question.
Yes.
No, I think Oklahoma City at 6. He thinks Thunder at 6.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't think
Different.
Next question.
Sushi bet. Are you guys worried about Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Yeah.
I'm worried about him.
I'm worried about him. I'm worried that there's something there that we don't know about, like an injury, because it's happened before. And if not, still worried. Like there's something going on with Tatis right now. Is it mental? Is it a combination of mental and mechanical? Is it a combination of mechanical and hurt? Is it a combination of mental and hurt? Like there's something going on there other than him just, I'm slumping. And maybe he is just slumping. I don't know. But I think there's a combination of a couple things going on there that have caused this. And we know the grind of baseball. Once you get into a slump, the hardest part is like figuring out how to get out of that slump.
27 games, a lot of games. He's hit 179. He's got a 615 OPS since the 1st of May. And I agree with you. I think there's something additional that we don't know about or isn't fully being reported on, whether it's his health or his mental, kind of between the ears. But it is concerning, especially for a team that is really lacking offense. And now without Gavin Sheets tonight as well in game 1 of the series in San Francisco. Next question.
ESPN has the San Diego FC at number 8 today in MLS power rankings. Is that too high, too low, or just about right?
No, John, I think it's about just right.
Okay.
Well, look, if you're just looking at the Western Conference, they are they're second in the table.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They're clearly on track to make the postseason, which is going to be a phenomenal vibes around here in San Diego. But if you're looking at the overall, like both conferences, the overall MLS as a whole, yeah, sure, 8th sounds about right.
No, it sounds low to me. Now, have I been watching the other teams? No, but why is what's Seattle's record? Where's Seattle?
Sounders?
Yeah, why are they ahead of San Diego? Because they beat them head-to-head in one random match?
They right now are 4th in the Western Conference.
Yeah, give me a break. Well, ESPN has them ahead of them. Why?
Oh, I'm outraged.
Who's in first?
I'm outraged now.
Where's Minnesota? Behind
I'm
STFC?
outraged now. Yep, they are.
Why are they 3rd?
I'm outraged.
Thank you. Where's Philadelphia in these?
They're number 1 right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's a joke. Put Philadelphia behind STFC. Where's Miami? Hasn't Miami struggled?
Miami, John, is 3rd in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at total points right now, San Diego has 30 points on the year. Minnesota also has 30 points. Seattle 26, Miami 29, Philadelphia 34, Cincinnati 30. So like I'm guessing those are all the teams that are in the top 8 right there, along with like maybe Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. So Minnesota or Vancouver has 32. Like they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're putting themselves in a great position to be one of the top 4 teams in the West, sitting 2nd right now. I think that they have done a phenomenal job this season, and they are on track to firmly stamp their ticket in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, the LA Galaxy, who won the MLS Cup last year,
one win,
are 30th in the power rankings, although they did win their first match. They did 2-0 over
Thank
Salt
goodness
Lake.
it wasn't against STFC.
I know. Next question.
Would you sign up for a 9-8 record from the Padres over the next 17 games?
I mean, probably, just because we know how the offense has been, the injuries to Michael King, the uncertainty with Yu Darvish. Gavin Sheets said that he passed all tests, by the way. He's going to avoid the IL, which he said that it was a good thing. Yeah, I'd take it probably.
Definitely.
Okay.
You have to take that because the alternative is bad. I mean, it can go sideways when you're playing teams like the Dodgers a lot.
What was the alternative? 8-9?
I mean, the alternative could be anything. However they play, you know, they could go 5-12. You're right. If you take 9-8, what if they were going to go 12-5? I believe in this team. I think they're fully capable of playing well over the stretch, but it's far from a guarantee because we've been watching them play. And yes, they've won 3 consecutive series, but it seems to be a little bit against all odds. So can they continue to play at a good enough pace here over the next 17 games? If they do go 9-8, by the way, over those 17 games, they'd be 10 games over 500 at that point. They'd be well positioned, which means if they went 8-9, they wouldn't be in the worst position. They'd be 8 games over 500.
And the way that their bullpen has been used a lot, the state of their pitching, the rotation, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple games in this stretch where there's like, it's like one of those punt games, you know, like we just don't have it tonight. We're not going to force the issue here. We need somebody in the bullpen to just wear it for us so we can move on to the next day, like lose a battle, win a war type of thing. And I bet you're going to see that a couple times here in this 17 game stretch or how many games they play in a row? 17 or 18?
I don't know. Is it all in a row here? There's that one off day. It started with Pittsburgh this weekend where it's like 26 games in 27 days. One off day in there.
I think it's the 17 games, the next 17 they play. So they play 4 against San Francisco, 3 in Milwaukee. That's their road trip. Followed up by 3 at home against the Dodgers. First time they faced the Dodgers this year. Then on the road, 3 in Arizona. Then 4 in LA against the Dodgers again.
And that's all in a row without an off day?
There's an off day next Thursday on the 12th.
Okay. But that's a gauntlet.
But then you come home, you play the Royals, and then we see James Wood here and the Nats for 3. And then you have an off day on the 26th. So you have one off day from now until the 26th.
And you have no Michael King and no Yu Darvish currently.
And a bullpen that has been used a lot.
Yep.
A couple guys that have been called up. You have guys that are slumping. This is gonna be a tough stretch.
It's a real test. It absolutely is. It gets underway here tonight. We'll hear from Mike Schill coming up this hour. Also, we'll give away that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Also, Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30 right here on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future. We need your help, though. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now. Keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. We'll hear from Mike Schilt coming up. We'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair this hour. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. I haven't gotten your 2 cents on the return of Miles Byrd. Joined us Friday on Jon and Jim, but it was just on Jon.
What do you think my 2 cents are going to be?
Be like, I think you're going to say that you're really happy because your take was like, I hope he doesn't go to the NBA because I'm selfish and I want him to come back so San Diego State's better, which is the right take.
Yeah.
And now that he's back, you're a proponent of that, presumably. You're a fan of that.
Can you imagine? I was like, you know what? Actually,
it's terrible.
I wish he left. I did not want to see another minute of Miles Byrd on the court.
Did you stay up late?
Aztec uniform.
Did you stay up late last night to watch Darn A Trip with Miles at 11:35 on Sports Wrap?
I was on a plane, John.
I know.
So I did not.
So was it on the plane? Were you watching?
No, actually, I was watching Gladiator 2 on the plane.
Is that out?
It was out on the plane.
Okay.
Good movie. I liked it.
It's been out for a long time.
Who wins?
Gladiator.
Makes sense. So you think, okay, so Miles Byrd makes San Diego State. Like, what's your expectation? You'll be disappointed if what doesn't happen.
I will be disappointed if they don't win the Mountain West Conference regular season title. I will be disappointed if they don't make a trip to the Sweet 16.
Wow. Okay, that's not easy, as we know.
The conference tournament is always a crapshoot.
Yep.
So, like,
you're cool with that.
Fine with that. But the regular season, you know, that to me, I feel like, and again, I haven't done the deep dive in everybody's roster like you have.
You haven't?
No,
you had a long flight, man.
Yeah, I know. I should have. I'm sorry. I should have bought the internet. I should have looked at all the rosters.
Marquette's starting 5. Run through that for us, and then where you see the deficiencies.
You could give me
no, I couldn't.
a million guesses.
You couldn't name one.
I could not name one.
Is
person.
Cam Jones back?
Who?
Cam
I would
Jones.
start making up names, and I still don't think I could get one right. I'm not kidding.
I know.
But I do think with the talent that the Aztecs have, there's going to be an expectation, and when Miles decided to return, like, he's not returning just to like return. He's returning for goals that are going to be set, for expectations that are going to be set, to win the conference regular season title, to go deep into March Madness, to win, the Mountain West Conference tournament. It's not the end. It's not the like number one goal, but it would be a huge goal if they did not play well in the regular season. You got to, win that tournament to get the automatic bid. But I think that, and I know he said this with Darnay, like, there's no ceiling in their mind, that they believe they have enough talent to make a deep run, to win the regular season, to be one of the best teams in the country, because, you look at their roster and you're like, are they 12 deep?
Do you want to go through it?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's what
deep.
you think. You're like, whoa, like, you want to go through it? Go through it right now.
I mean, they're very deep. Okay, you want to go through it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Reese Waters back from injury.
There you go. There's
Miles Byrd.
There you go.
BJ Davis.
There you go.
Taj DeGorville, Pharaoh Compton, Magoon Gua.
There you go. You're waiting for that one.
Miles Heide.
There you go. They're new additions.
Yeah, LZ Harrington.
Yep.
Who's the other freshman? In addition to Harrington. Someone put in the chat.
Who's the transfer they got?
Well, there's Sean Newman Jr., the guard.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeremiah Oden.
There you go, Jeremiah Oden.
Who played at Wyoming in the Mountain West previously. Who else did they? Oh, Latrell Davis from San Jose State. Yeah. Oh, Thok, Majak,
Thok,
7-footer. And we're missing one or two or three. And
this is a way too early take on this Aztec team.
Mm-hmm.
Way too early, and this could be completely wrong. But there are players on this team that might not get a lot of playing time this year that you're going to look back and be like, that guy didn't play much.
Chase Simmons, a freshman we've talked about,
yes.
Right?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen teams before where you're like, that guy didn't play at all,
right?
And he turns out in 3 years to be like really good. I think that's what we're going to say about this particular Aztec team. obviously, health permitting, there are going to be some guys on this team that might not get a lot of playing time, that in a couple years, we're going to look back on this particular Aztec team and say, that guy didn't play much?
Right.
Because they're that deep.
Well, I mean, shoot, they went to a national championship game 3 years ago. Miles Bird didn't play. And now he's going to be in the NBA in a year.
Right.
How about, consider this.
That's my point. That's where I'm going with that.
Is it that crazy to envision a world where both Miles Bird and Magoon Guath are first-round draft picks a year from now? Is that a crazy thing to say?
No.
It's not crazy.
No, because Magoon definitely has the size and what everything that an NBA team looks for, and same thing with Miles Bird. It depends on how much he improves this year.
Yep, both of them.
But they both 100% have the NBA build.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, this is an all-time quote from Miles Bird when he announced he was returning. He was quoted saying, "I'm returning to graduate, get stronger, fine-tune my game, and win a national championship." I mean, you like the confidence. He's played again in a Final Four. Who says they can't get to another with Miles Bird leading the way in 2026?
And final year in the Mountain West Conference.
Go out with a bang.
Go out with a bang, man.
Go in a natty.
Put the conference on the top pedestal
on your way out the door,
and then just leave.
Yeah, and the Mountain West would claim that for forever. Like, oh, we won a national championship in men's basketball. Like, well, and yeah, with San Diego State out the door.
Why wouldn't they?
I know, but I mean, San Diego State wouldn't be there,
right?
But yeah, I'd claim it too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hear from Mike Schilt coming up. Comments on tonight's game in San Francisco. Gavin Sheets not starting, but available per Gavin Sheets off the bench. Plus, later this hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. And Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. Don't go anywhere. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Make sure to get out there for the Players Party, by the way. That's coming up Saturday, June 14th. Get ready to kick off summer in style. It's an annual event. Listen to this, $20 free play for all, 6 a.m. to midnight, and then free food for everyone, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's in Jive Lounge. It's an event you won't want to miss. Make sure to join them to start your summer off right.
Make sure to get out to Jamul Casino for Father's Day brunch at Prime Cut Sunday, June 15th. Show Dad just how much he means to you with a decadent brunch at Prime Cut from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. featuring lobster tails and hand-carved prime rib. Make his day extra special with a meal that he'll love.
Also, UFC 316 coming up Saturday, June 7th. That's this Saturday. Catch all the action at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Loft 94, or their poker room at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update's brought to you by Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival. Padres Giants, they start a 4-game series tonight up in the Bay. 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres tonight. In the NBA Finals, they are set. Thunder and Pacers game 1 tips off Thursday in OKC. Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival is happening June 20th through the 22nd, featuring Walker Hayes, Cody Jinks, Alabama, and more. Tickets are available now at TemeculaValleyFestival.com. Powering the best events from start to finish, events.com.
All right, coming up in 15 minutes, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair that gets underway in 9 days at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. And then next hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That's June 19th. Also next hour, Kevin Acee from the Bay will join us as the Padres get ready for the Giants game 1 of a 4-game series. We'll hear from Mike Schilt as well.
So while I was gone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I thought this was going to turn in. I thought this was going to be just a fad for you, like
you know, into a passion,
like a couple week thing where you buy a couple cards, you know, get that itch scratched, and then you say, yeah, I'm over it.
Right.
I was wrong, completely wrong. You have turned into a card collector, like you're kind of obsessed right now.
I am going through a phase in life.
No, it's not a phase anymore. This is who you have become.
Correct. I am buying random cards everywhere I turn.
You come into the studio today with 4 packs of cards that you bought off the Whatnot app for like $6.
Like it was like a deal. Yeah.
They were from 2020.
2020 Prism. I mean, who didn't need a couple of packs?
You pulled a Nick Richards rookie auto card.
We both were like, who's Nick Richards?
We had to look him up. The cards are so old, and not by so old, I mean just only 4 or 5 years. They were sticking together.
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay? Do you need an intervention here?
I'm turning 45 in 6 days.
Okay. Ooh, birthday.
So that may play a role.
Actually, let me look up this card.
Yeah. Here. So no, I think I went to eBay and said Nick Richards auto, and I think you can get it for 99 cents on eBay.
That's it.
I mean, we'd never heard of him.
No, I know. We had to look him up, but he's actually actually decent role player in the NBA.
Yeah,
he averaged like 9 points last year for the Phoenix Suns.
So, do you think that what I'm doing, like, is this? What am I doing? Is it a waste of money? Is it a waste of time?
No.
Is there any value in it?
The value, John, comes from your enjoyment.
How about this? You'll get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
So I go to Vegas for the weekend because Kristen wants to see Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
So I tag along. Concert was good. But anyway, that wasn't the highlight for me.
What did you do? I already saw you got kicked out of the hotel lobby doing the wrap-up show the other night.
I did. That was last night. Even though I asked repeatedly if I could do it, and then security came up to me while I was on the wrap-up show. Like,
so
like, sir, this isn't a public area. I'm like, I'm staying in the hotel.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm like, it's Vegas. People are doing ridiculous things. Let me talk about the Padres. Free the Padres, please.
Free the Padres.
Anyway, yesterday I took Jones in an Uber to a card store in Las Vegas.
And
it was kind of seedy. There were like bars on the windows, and but they gave us all kinds of free cards. If you it's like taking a puppy somewhere. You take a puppy somewhere.
No, this is better.
People are coming up to you, right? Like it's a good way to, like have a date, like pick someone up. You take a 6-year-old to a card store, they give you everything.
That's that's the right play, the right move. Now you don't want to pimp your boy out to like get cards, but
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, who cares,
right? There's worse things you can do.
Yeah,
but they gave me what they give us. You would have been impressed. They gave us something that was good, but I forget what it was.
Where are you keeping these cards?
Kristen's already getting mad. She's like, put the cards in one area. There's a million. I'm like, it's not a million cards.
You need to buy a binder. You know that?
I have a couple of binders.
No, like a card binder.
Yeah. With like the 9 cards go in the sleeves.
Yeah, sleeve.
She's like, you have a million cards. I'm like, you buy shoes every day and are returning them, and there's boxes everywhere.
Although I can't find your card.
That's because nobody wants a Nick Richards auto.
I'm trying to look this card up, and I can't find it.
Does Nick Richards want a Nick Richards card?
Probably not. Probably not at all.
Anyway, there'll be some things arriving in the mail to the office the next few days.
Well, if I didn't just go to Hawaii and become broke, I would have come back to San Diego and probably jumped on the card buying.
Yeah, we need to get you into this.
No,
it doesn't matter if you don't have money. You have a credit card, right?
I do, but that's the whole thing is I don't want to put all this money on my credit card.
You can't take it with you. Your dad.
I know.
or whatever you have.
No,
it's fun.
Well, funny story. Did you tell the story about what happened in the airport?
What happened in the airport?
So in the airport, because I texted you about this.
Okay.
This was Saturday morning, and we were waiting for our flight to Maui.
Okay.
And we got like an hour left.
Right.
We're sitting in the terminal, and I'm looking at Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah. Didn't Aaron
my
get
phone.
mad at you?
And I was looking on eBay, and I wasn't like gonna buy anything, but what I like going on eBay now and putting cards in my basket or in my cart.
Because then they give you deals, right?
Because then they email you and you go, oh, by the way, we asked for $99 for this card. We'll give it to you for $75. Like, so they're quote unquote like giving you a deal
right
on this card, or trying to give you a deal.
Right.
So I'm looking at these cards, and Erin's doing her own thing, whatever, on her phone. And she looks over at me and she goes, "What are you doing?" I go,
"Just looking at cards."
Looking at cards. She's like, "You're looking at what cards are you looking at?" I said, "Pokemon cards." And she goes, "Absolutely not." And I go,
"Because it was the honeymoon anniversary, or just absolutely not?" End of sentence, regardless of time and circumstance.
Well, because the cards I was looking at were like $150 to $200. And so knowing this, going on a trip to Hawaii for a week, knowing that like we're going to be spending a good amount of money in Hawaii, spending money on cards before we get on the trip to Hawaii, probably not the best idea.
You don't think it would have gone over well if you're like, "Hey, honey, as opposed to going out Thursday night, what if I just get this card?"
Right. Yeah.
That wouldn't have gone over well.
It was a nice dinner in Maui.
Right. Or card.
This, PSA 9 first edition Gyarados.
Hey, I got the refund on the helicopter, but I got this really nice card.
So
was she like, she doesn't really get angry.
No,
right?
it was just like a sarcastic, like absolutely not. And then my response to that was, well, blame Jon. This is Jon's fault.
Which is a fair response, although it's like if Jon jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off a bridge? Is probably her answer.
Yeah, but still, I blamed you.
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, I'm going to...
Like 100% it was your fault.
Well, I think I'll get you back into it.
Here's the text I sent.
Yeah.
So Erin, she goes, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Pokemon cards." She goes, "Jim."
Mm-hmm.
I go, "What?" She goes, "Absolutely not. Not right now." And I go, "Well, blame Jon. It's his fault."
Which is fine. Kristen has actually been okay with it. Her biggest concern is that it makes a mess. She's like, "There's cards everywhere." I'm like, "The cards are not everywhere."
But they don't make a mess if you put them in a binder, Jon.
Exactly.
So this is on you, buddy. You got to put them in a binder.
I'm going to put them in a binder.
And if you put them in a binder, then they'll be neatly stored away. And then you put all your nice cards in like sleeves.
I'm so scared now that
and put them in like a box. I know, because she's listening like a hawk.
Yeah, she's like, "I heard that you bought a card on whatnot. Jim said it on the air. I need to see your credit card." It was like $6.
Yeah, anyway. I know you. You're not going to go out
spend thousands of dollars.
No, you spent what, $60 on a card? That's like a huge investment for you.
Yeah, I was looking at a Merrill the other day. I was doing the offer game where I put in my card. The guy gave me an offer, but I didn't pull the trigger because it was $190.
What did he offer you?
$174.99. And then I could come back, but I'm like, do I really need to spend $200 on some random card? But it is Jackson Merrill.
Well, if Jackson Merrill goes in another slump, just say 120. Take it or leave it.
I'll pay $200 for a Gavin Sheets card.
Yeah,
but I'm not paying $200 right now for Merrill.
Yeah, you got a Gavin Sheets auto in there, 1-of-1.
Seriously, that'll pay $200.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're getting you ready for Padres and Giants coming up tonight. 6:45 is first pitch time. We'll hear from Kevin Acee coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We've seen a Padres starting lineup again. Gavin Sheets is not in it here tonight. That's because he banged into that wall yesterday and left. I'm 100% with you, by the way. The left field experiment with Gavin Sheets should end. Mm-hmm. He's played there 15 times in his career. That includes 6-7 times this year. It's been a poor experiment, whether he's gotten hurt, misplayed a ball. You're trying to fit a square into the circle to get his bat in the lineup. I love the idea of getting his bat in the lineup, but not at the expense of him being a liability in left field. If you need a left fielder, go get a left fielder. His name is not Gavin Sheets.
There's been too many times that the Padres have tried to do that and it just doesn't work. Why do we always have to like sacrifice something?
Right.
It's like, oh, we need his bat in the lineup, but we're just going to sacrifice defense. Like, well, how about you just go get a left fielder,
right,
and make Gavin Sheets your everyday DH?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that hard, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
And they're just like, well, you know, we're going to use this, and I get it, the restraints from the money and going out and getting players and whatnot, but still, if you thought, and we thought this from the start, Jason Hayward and Connor Joe and Brandon Lockridge and whoever the hell they were going to else put in left field was not going to work.
Yep.
We could have told you that from the jump, and they still went with it, and they still tried it out, and it still hasn't worked. So stop, like you said, stop trying to fit something in a spot that doesn't fit. Example, Gavin Sheets. Like I said, Gavin Sheets' injury yesterday, and thank goodness so far from everything that we're seeing with Gavin Sheets, it's not going to turn into an IL stint. He's just probably going to get a day-to-day. I would bet he's back in the lab tomorrow. We'll ask Kevin here coming up at 5:30 about that. But that injury yesterday, and if it turned into something worse, it's still, thankfully it didn't. But if it did, that is 100% on Schilt and 100% on the Padres organization.
Yeah, how would you explain that away? You're right. I mean, you break your wrist banging into that wall and you lose your second best slugger right now, or one of your top hitters. How would you explain that? All right, call right now if you want a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, a great giveaway. We have a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. This gets underway June 11th. It runs through July 6th. It's at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. If you want those free tickets, call right now, 877-767-4760. Our first two callers will be contestants for trivia. You need to call right now. Again, the number to call for a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, 877-767-4760. Call right now. Again, 877-767-4760. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, joins us from San Francisco, Oracle Park at 5:30. Padres Giants coming up at 6:45 tonight. Padres linked to an outfielder with the Red Sox, a really good one, Jarren Duran. We'll talk more about that as well in the 5 o'clock hour. We hope to hear from Mike Schild as well. He has spoken with the media pregame, and when we get that audio, we will share it with you coming up in the 5 o'clock hour.
Wow, look at that lineup.
Look at that lineup. No sheets in it tonight, Jim.
No, but still, look at that lineup.
Whew.
Wow.
So is tonight one of those
privilege
nights,
of looking at that lineup every day?
Is tonight a night where like the team that scores first is winning this game, and if you score a run or two, you never know with San Francisco. Night game, cool. Webb for the Giants, sub-3 ERA.
Well,
right? Not gonna be easy.
It's small sample size, but Padres looked really, really good against the Giants in just like quick 2-game series here at Petco. And if you remember before that, it didn't look good. They were struggling.
Right.
They were 3-8 in their 11 games. Remember that?
Yeah, before that series.
An off day, and then they won, I think, 6 in a row. Starting with the Giants. So maybe this is a year that they just, play really well against the Giants. I mean, again, you can't really say off a 2-game series, and things have changed since the last time they met, but still, they played well against them, and hopefully that continues here in this next four days against the Giants.
Remember Stephen Kolek had that brilliant shutout in Colorado?
Yeah.
The caveat was it was in Colorado. I mean, it was against the Rockies.
Yeah, but still, having a shutout in Colorado is very impressive. I don't care who's pitching.
7.71 ERA in his next 3 starts. So
yeah,
he hasn't been that same pitcher over his last 3 starts, but we'll see if he can turn it around here tonight.
Well, maybe that, his shutout in Colorado. I think how many pitches did he throw that game? Do you know?
Wasn't it something like really low? Was it under 100? Or was it over 100?
It might have been over 100.
Was it under 200?
I'm pretty sure it was the most pitches he ever threw, right?
It had to be.
But my point is, like, we've seen this before when a pitcher have like a no-hitter or they pitch a shutout. It takes them a while to recover because they threw so many pitches. They're not used to doing that. And with Stephen Kolek, like, that's uncharted territory. He has never done that before.
104.
Okay, so
it's impressive for 9 innings.
It really is in Colorado.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
Yep. So you're right. I mean, since then, he's got the 7.71. He has not thrown 100 pitches in any other outing. He's made 5 starts for the Padres so far.
And it's still 5 starts. Maybe he's still recovering. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe that outing and how many pitches he threw was like a trickle-down effect, causing, his next 5 starts here to not be as good. And he's been trying to get back to that point he was in Colorado.
Yeah, we can talk to Kevin about Stephen Kolek, who will start tonight for the Padres coming up at 5:30. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Steve and we have Christian. Steve, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with Jim.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Steve and Jim. That means Christian, you get John, okay?
Excellent.
Christian, are you there?
Yeah, I said excellent.
Okay.
We can barely hear you.
Barely hear you there, buddy. So take it off soft speakerphone if you can, or put your mouth close to the phone. Okay.
Leave
Brent.
Mars.
Yeah, leave Mars. That'd be great. What's the question of the day, Brent?
All right, guys, the NBA Finals are getting underway finally on Thursday night. Can you name the top 10 players with the most career points in the NBA Finals for their career? So we're looking for the top 10 players with the most points only in the finals.
Only in the finals.
This is just in the finals. So the top 10 career points in the NBA Finals.
Okay. Christian, you're up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron.
Pretty good guess. He's on the list. I'm guessing he's probably
Is
either
he
1 or 2.
number 1?
He's got to be number 1.
He's 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, okay.
He's played on what? 10?
He's played 10.
That's amazing.
Steve, you're up. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll go Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Played in a lot of finals.
He did. 5,
but no.
Wow.
He played in 7, did he not?
Wow.
He played in
5 wins, 2 losses?
Yeah.
He played
Wow.
in 7, is not top 10. Wow.
He's 11th.
Interesting.
Oh, he's 11th.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Christian, you're up next. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Did he play in the final? He did play in the finals.
He played in 6, John.
Wow. He won them,
He only
right?
played in 6 and he's top 10. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, Kobe's played in 7.
Yeah.
Top 10. Steve, you're going to need this to stay in it. What is your second guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Jerry West.
Jerry West.
Jerry West, top 10.
Sneaky,
Well done.
very good guess.
Yeah.
Very good guess. He won the finals MVP and his team lost. Only player to do that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Christian, back to you to go 3 for 3 to win outright here. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it. What's your final guess?
For the win, Bill Russell.
Bill Russell for the
Russell.
win. Wow. On the list.
I mean, the finals
Yeah, he's
MVP
got-
award is named the Bill
He's
Russell
got 10
MVP award.
rings, right?
Yeah.
So his 10 rings is a lot.
And the MVP's named after him.
Yeah. It's okay. That was a good guess.
Yeah.
Who's number 1?
Jerry West.
Jerry
Oh.
West, number 1. LeBron, number 2. Can LeBron pass Jerry West with one more finals appearance or no?
No.
Really?
Wow.
The logo is sitting at 1679. LeBron is at 1562.
Okay, so we could with 110 points, right?
About
He could.
Yeah, he has.
is Kareem on that list?
Yeah, he's third.
Is Shaq?
No,
Steph Curry?
no, he's 12th.
What generation? Like older,
Like old, like
like very old, like Bob Cousy, old.
some of those. Yeah,
Like Tim Duncan, old?
no, older.
Shay. I'm kidding.
Shake.
All right, who's on this list?
All right, the logo's number 1. LeBron's 2. Kareem is 3. MJ is 4. Elgin Baylor is 5. Bill Russell is 6. Sam Jones is 7. Tom Henselson.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
I know that.
Tom Allen.
Yeah, Tom Allen.
John Havlicek and Magic.
Oh, Magic
Magic
would have
was
been a
number
good
10.
guess.
Oh, Magic.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
that would have been a very good guess. But Kobe's not on the list.
Nope, he's
Steph
11.
is not on the list.
12.
It's not like Kobe. If you
Shaq's
go back and watch his
13.
finals, it's not like Kobe put up like 35 a
Right.
game.
Well, apparently, to be in 7 different. Yeah, I wonder what he averaged per game in his finals career.
He was close. Magic is at 971. Kobe was at 937.
Okay.
So like one more game, he probably could have passed him.
Okay. Kind of like that question. Do you like that question?
Yeah, it's a good one. Sneaky good.
I'm just curious right now about Kobe's finals, just like
Averages?
numbers. Yeah, just like the numbers he put up in
Well,
the
I
finals
know
in
his
career.
last finals against the Celtics. I mean, if you watch game 7, it was like 65 to 60 with like 2 minutes to play in the fourth.
Right.
But that wasn't really a high scoring. He hasn't.
Oh, here we go. I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is interesting. In his career, Kobe Bryant in NBA Finals games averaged 25.3 points per game, which by Kobe standards isn't like some ridiculous scoring average.
What's the most he averaged in a single final? Probably
That's going to be hard for me to find, but it's a good question.
doesn't show that there.
It does. You really want to know?
I'm gonna say. Let me guess.
Okay.
I will say it's actually the one against Philadelphia.
That was 2001.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you, this is like, what are the 30 for 30s or whatever?
Yeah.
What if I told you, what if I told you that the most points he ever averaged in a finals was in 2010
Oh,
when he averaged 28.6? I'd be wrong because it was, what am I looking at? This is
What are you
okay.
looking at?
He averaged 32.4 points per game in the 2008-2009 finals against Orlando. 32.4.
That makes sense. That's right.
So that was his all-time high in
Yeah.
the finals
That was his first NBA championship
without Shaq.
Without Shaq.
And they went what, back to back,
08.
or was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. They did not go back to back.
We sure?
Yeah, because the Celtics won. No, wait.
8, 9. No, we went back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 08, 09, 09, 10. Yeah, you're right.
I remember my first time watching basketball.
07, 08. Wait, 08, I don't even know. Whatever.
All right, on the other side, we will hear from Mike Schilt. We have the audio. We'll hear from Mike Schilt pregame. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. We'll give away Dirks Bentley tickets as well. We'll kick off hour 4 of Jon and Jim next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Wendy's new Frosty Flavors. Padres and Giants start a 4-game series tonight up in the Bay Area, 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolek on the mound tonight for the Padres. No Gavin Sheets in the lineup, but he says that he is available off the bench tonight. He's going to avoid an IL stint, so that's good news. We're going to hear from Schulte coming up here in a bit. And the NBA Finals are set. Pacers and Thunder. Game 1 tips off Thursday night in OKC. Love Wendy's classic chocolate and vanilla Frosty flavors. Announcing all new Frosty Swirl and Frosty Fusion flavors. The same creamy treat you love now with a flavor refresh. Refresh on a classic. Got to be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Big show today. The Padres win the weekend.
Hey, struck him out. The Padres win. Robert Suarez, a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Padres win and win the series.
SDSU's headed to the pack. Insert number here. And SDFC with a 2-0 win over Austin FC. Plus, Jim's back.
This is Jim.
He takes 7 minutes to prep for the show.
If you've been feeling less than optimal,
No honeymoon jokes. Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim, where Kevin Acee will join us from the Bay at 5:30 to get us ready for Padres and Giants. Jim just told you we'll hear from Mike Schilt momentarily. He has spoken with the media. He does have an update for us on Gavin Sheets. We do have the return of Jim's back page, and it never really went anywhere.
No, I know Brent did a back page, but while I was gone, I did really miss one part of the show.
Back page?
Like really missed one story that I could not tell on the back page last week.
What story was that?
That would be the Sydney Sweeney story of her
bathwater.
Now selling her bathwater in the form of a soap, bar soap.
Have you bought that?
Is it in the cart?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have looked into it.
Would Aaron find that weird if you brought it home and just sat it down in the bathroom and it like had the cover on, like Sydney Sweeney soap sitting on the side of like the bathtub? Would she find that odd?
She would, but I would just blame it on the show. I'm like, I got this for the show.
Got it for the show.
I got it for the show.
Yeah.
For the show. Right. Show purposes.
I didn't want it.
Yeah, I didn't want it, but we talked about it. One of our listeners, air quotes, listeners brought it up to us and they thought it'd be a funny idea. And so we had to buy it for the show.
Had to do it.
How
How much were they charging for it? Do we know? Roughly?
No, just normal soap.
No, okay, so it's not like.
I think it's a like limited time deal. Now I sent it to Brent because I saw it and I was like, oh, this has to be put on the back page. Like, even though I'm not there, this has to be said on the show.
That's what Brent says. Like, I got an email from Jim like in the middle of the night or in the morning. It was like morning time.
It was in the morning.
Yeah.
It's very odd because I got it like 10 or 11 in the morning, but it was earlier in Hawaii. So he sent it at like 7 or 8 in the morning.
I was very eager to make sure the story made the air.
Got in the show.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
Got the show.
I'm glad. But yeah, that was the one part of the show that I missed. I don't know how we got there, but I needed to say on the air, Sydney Sweeney's soap with her bathwater in it. I needed to just say that for myself.
Well, you can say it again during the back.
I could talk about it more. You
could.
Want me to?
We do a podcast.
We could maybe,
on Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, how smart? Real quick, how smart is that? Like, we don't.
It's good marketing.
Who the hell knows if this is even her real bathwater, and who even cares?
Who has to authenticate it? Is there an authenticator, or someone sitting in the bath with her?
The person that came up with this idea is a
genius?
Freaking genius.
Right, like an evil genius.
Like, hey, we saw the comments online when she did the commercial in the bathtub saying that they would like drink her bathwater. Let's take that, flip it on its head, and make it into a bar of soap, and we'll market it that we took the bathwater from Sydney Sweeney's bath and put it in the bar of soap. Freaking genius.
They'll have to get it authenticated. Because we're living in a society today where,
I don't even care.
Yeah, but Subway's getting sued because their foot-long sandwiches are like a centimeter short than a foot long. So if they're just, that's
they're getting sued.
Yeah,
put in the back page.
But who's to say that that's just not tap water that they're saying was her bath water. So yeah, if they don't verify it, somebody will sue.
All right. On that note, Mike Schilt has met with the media. I don't think this comes up in the conversation.
What, the bath?
Sydney Sweeney's bath water?
I don't think bath water.
We can ask Kevin to bring it up.
I haven't heard the whole, right. I mean, I haven't heard the whole conversation. So this was Mike Schilt just a few moments ago, and the conversation starts with the latest on Gavin Sheets.
So how's he feeling? I think better than yesterday. I think all things being considered from the impact of yesterday, we're in a, thankfully in a pretty good spot. Head's clear, good night's sleep, wrist, thumb seem to be stable, hips a little probably the most sore. We just want to give him a start off and see if he's available off the bench to come help us win a baseball game.
No concern right now about an IL step?
There's not for me. I don't know what he told you.
So,
Yeah. So we're all on the same page.
Okay, good.
Yeah, knocking on wood.
Yeah, no surprises on my end.
Yeah, okay, good.
How about you and his status right now, playing catch and when you might expect him to throw a bullpen?
Talk about him maybe throwing a bullpen today. So we'll see if that ended up taking place or tomorrow. But my understanding was a chance it was taking place today, but I haven't heard either way.
How would it work progression-wise? Should he throw a pen in the next day or two? What would be the next step for him?
Evaluation of the recovery, and then the plan after that, which would probably be another 10.
Ryan Burgert's here.
He is.
What are your expectations for him?
He's going to start tomorrow. I think that's out. Expectations, Bergie's thrown the ball well, regardless of level, including here. Go out and get after it from the very beginning and go pitch your game.
How about Brian Hoeing? Anything new on him?
We brought Hoeing in. Maybe some of you have seen him. He's doing well. We like to do this. I like the fact that we're doing this more, and this organization does this being that when guys have been on the IL for a period of time, during either before or during their rehabs, we bring them in, touch base with them, see how they're doing. I think it's smart to get them connected with the team again, our staff. So Ho's in today, throwing aside, and then getting with Ruben and Fritzy in the group, and then we'll send them back out and evaluate from there.
The fact that Ryan came up and did well in a different role, but he found out he could pitch here.
Yes, sir.
And then he went down and pitched well in the intro. That's not like you guys are going, oh, well, we got to pick a guy.
Right.
What does that, you think, do for him, and also how encouraging is that for you guys?
Yeah, all of it's encouraging, and all of it makes this big part of the reason why he's here, because started the season having success, came up here, didn't make it bigger than it was, pitched out a different role in the bullpen, but also pitched well, got a win over at Yankee Stadium, which is cool, and then went back down and, took the opportunities from here down to there, worked on his craft, pitched well, and has earned the opportunity to get another start, or to get a start here. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, Jane?
Doing well.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Jane.
Going back to what you just mentioned about bringing a rehabbing guy in to connect with the team, how did that come about? That's interesting to me. That could probably do a lot for both parties, right? Just to see that person, and maybe for him to feel
it's definitely the connection part's the biggest one, for all the different things, and we really it happened a little bit last year. We're fortunate in the sense that our Arizona and San Diego are close, so those guys can bounce over in an hour. We also have good continuity between all of our groups, Arizona rehab and our AA, AAA clubs when they're rehabbing. But it just looked up and we said, you know what, especially at home, but here being close as well, let's just bounce them over. That makes some sense. Check in on them. If they're going to do a side, why not do it with Ruben in the pitching group? Get to be in like today, first day of a hitters, first day of a series rather, get acclimated, get your head around being in a pitchers meeting, and just, starts that process, see your teammates, know you're connected with the group. I get to spend some time with them. It just makes sense on every level.
You actually receive feedback on it?
Not necessarily to say, oh, that was great, but it just feels right. Like we've done it with 4 or 5 guys this year. Unfortunately, we've had 4 or 5 guys to do it with, but we've done it, and it's just kept the continuity. But it's also, we can have the correspondence, which we do with all the other parties, but now we get our hands on it, make sure everybody's synced up, and again, it's most important for the player.
So our takeaway was what?
What was he talking about?
I have no idea, but my takeaway was Bergie. The whole thing there is not. I mean, Gavin Sheets. Okay, good, right?
Yeah,
maybe dodge the bullet. But Ryan Berger is already Bergie. When you were gone, he had another one in there. I forget what. Like, so they called up this reliever Bradley, right?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do for a nickname? Is he called him Bradgie, even though it's like Bradley?
I have
I don't
no
even
clue,
know, man. He loves the nicknames.
He can't help himself.
Can't.
He is. It's like ingrained in him that he has to have a nickname for every single person.
What's your all-time favorite nickname for Schilt? If I said 3, 2, 1, go, and you just said a name, what would come out of your mouth?
Hold on.
Do you have? Okay, think for a second, because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going.
I know. I have the what he said. It. I just forget the name.
It's apropos. Which it would be fitting. It's fitting for tonight.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Nikki.
That's who I was going to go with. Yeah.
When he was talking about Nick Ahmed, and we're like, he said post game after, we're like, yeah, Nikki had a couple good balls out there. We're like, who is he?
Nikki.
It was like 7 days into the season. We're like, who's
Nick? He's a nice player over there.
And he was talking about an opposing player with a nickname, which is pretty unique.
Again, I'm glad that Mike Schultz teams they win,
dude.
Most often than not, because
Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30.
Fergie. Mike Schultz. Here's $1,000. You can't use one nickname. Could you do it? No chance.
Do you think he knows the first names of the players on his team?
Like, if you were to ask him,
because does he know Wade's first name is Tyler?
Probably.
Does he know like Manny's last name? He always calls him Manny is Machado. Does he know Toddy's first name? I know he does, but like, seriously, is there someone on the roster he would struggle with the first name because he uses the last name so frequently?
Ooh, good. That's a good question.
Like Bergie, does he know Bergie's first name?
Probably not.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. If I said Mike Schultz, here's $1,000. I need you to name off every single player on your team without using a nickname for them. Could you do it?
No. Maybe. But probably not.
I would love to see that.
Let's hit on Jarren Duran, who was linked to the Padres earlier today by Dennis Lin in The Athletic. Red Sox outfielder. Padres, of course, need outfield help in left field. The latest there on Jarren Duran, who has coming off a terrific year with the Red Sox in 2024. Could they part ways in 2025? Plus, Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30 from San Francisco. We are here until 6 p.m. We've got Brad Paisley tickets to give away. We'll do that coming up shortly as well. This is Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim. We have the fourth hour of the show. Hold on.
Give me this stupid read.
Okay, real quick though, before you read it, I looked at the read and I'm like, this thing's too long.
It's like a page, dude.
It's like the Gettysburg Address was comparable length.
Let me read this thing.
Read
All
that.
right, here we go.
Read that. I could probably go to the bathroom before you're done.
Yeah, you probably could.
I could go to the zoo.
There we go. Shut up. San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio present our 2025 iHeart Music Festival, the biggest music event of the year. Legendary performances from the biggest names in music and once-in-a-lifetime collaborations. We'll announce the complete lineup for this year's show and let you know how you could win tickets before they go on sale. Everything you need to know happens tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Another once-in-a-lifetime music event from iHeart Radio and San Diego Sports 760. Nothing screams sports like...
Dude. It's the loopy hour.
Make sure you listen tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
No, to 5.
to 5 a.m. 5 a.m. to know the iHeart Music Festival on San Diego Sports 760.
We interrupt the show. Hey, look, we're gonna interrupt ESPN overnight or whatever the hell is that.
Who's on before Dan?
Who is on at 5 a.m.?
I have no clue, dude.
Can we look that up?
Who the hell is on the station?
It's been an hour before Dan Patrick.
It's got to be some like Fox Sports Radio.
I need someone to text us, or are you a 5 a.m.
No one's going to text us, dude.
Nobody
will text us.
Anyone listening to our voices right now a 5 a.m. listener?
No.
You're a real one if you are. Like, we should build a statue for you outside the studio.
When I was working across the street at this,
your show started at 5.
That stupid morning show started at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
I'm like, what
so
are we
early?
Dude, it was so dumb.
Yeah, like 5. Who is listening at 5? Who's awake?
It was 5 to 9. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe in like, okay.
People at work.
Yeah, but in like New York. How many people in San Diego are at work at 5 in the morning?
People that work in factories and
but they're probably
construction work. Well, you can listen to the radio and stuff while you do factory. It's called headphones, John.
All right.
I can tell you I'm not up at 5 a.m. Now I was up at 5 a.m.
Barely up at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
Hawaii, I felt like a new man. I was up every morning, no later than 7 a.m. every morning.
Yeah, want to know why? You're in Hawaii.
3-hour difference, and I was in Hawaii.
Exactly.
That's true. Makes a lot of sense. It was great.
Man,
it's a great feeling.
How do we go on that tangent?
Because,
by the way,
that read.
Kevin Acee will join us in 10 minutes. We have Brad Paisley tickets to give away. Let's get back to Jarren Duran for a moment, because it was Dennis Lin this morning that linked Duran, Red Sox outfielder, to the Padres. Of course, the Padres have a left field need.
That's the understatement of the year.
Of course, Duran would address
just throw it out there. Yeah, of course, the Padres didn't need a left fielder. No S, bro.
They really do. Jarren Duran, you mentioned it earlier, had a near 9 WAR a year ago for the Red Sox, right?
Dude, listen.
How's that possible?
I'll tell you how it's possible.
With the doubles and the triples, right?
His year last year was like kind of historic.
Mm-hmm.
So he had an 8.7 WAR last season. He played 160 games. All right. He led the American League in doubles and triples. This is his full stat line.
Okay.
160 games played, 111 runs scored, 191 hits, 48 doubles, 14 triples, 21 home runs, 75 RBIs, 34 stolen bases. He hit 285 with a 342 on base and an 834 OPS.
That is truly an incredible year.
Yeah,
like absolutely incredible. Like almost a 1 of 1. I mean, like in Padres history, that would be a 1 of 1 hitting those thresholds.
Yeah, dude.
The doubles, the triples, the stolen bases, the home runs.
48 doubles, 14 triples, led the league in both those categories. All, by the way, hit 21 home runs with 75 RBIs and 34 stolen bases as the Red Sox, I believe, leadoff hitter.
He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
Controllable for the next few years through 2028.
Now, if you want to say last year was an outlier year, okay, if you want to go down that road, because if you look at his 3 seasons before that, in 2021 at age 24, he only played 33 games, but he hit 215 with a 578 OPS.
The year before?
No, in 2021.
Okay.
2022, he played 58 games. He hit 221 with a 645 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
And then the year before, 2023, played 102 games, had a 2.2 WAR, hit 295 with an 828 OPS, had 34 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs in 102 games. Now, this year so far, in 60 games, he only has a 0.8 WAR.
Right.
All right. Take that for what it's worth. 13 doubles, leads the league in triples. He has 6 triples, 4 home runs, 34 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, a 718 OPS. All these numbers, by the way, this year that I'm reading, compared to last year for Jarren Duran, down year, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But they would be like the biggest upgrade ever for the Padres left fielder.
Yeah, because their left fielders have like a 500 OPS
Right.
and have like no extra base hits. And he's already had, 6 triples is a massive number in less than half a year.
Now, I believe he hits leadoff for the Red Sox.
That makes sense with the lower RBI totals.
If I'm not mistaken. I don't know how I could find that.
I can find it.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he's their leadoff hitter.
How sure is pretty sure? Pretty sure?
Kind of sure.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah, he has led off for them every single time he's played this year.
Okay, so he's a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that would make him a leadoff hitter.
All right.
His BOP, batting order position, is 1.
Do you want to do hypotheticals here? Go down that road?
What? You're going to slot him in as the leadoff hitter? Is that what the hypothetical?
Yeah, let's play a fun game.
Well, where are you going to bat a rise? You can keep him 2 because Toddy's got the power. You're going to slide him down. So you're going to bat Toddy 3, 4 in that lineup. Put Merrill Machado around Toddy.
Or fun little game. Go Duran, Toddy, Arise, Manny, Merrill. Left, right, left, right, left, right.
I do like that. I do like that. I have no problem batting a rise in the middle of the lineup because he produces with men on base.
And I have no, yeah, Merrill hitting. Again, this is all just hypotheticals.
Yep.
Just a fun little game to play. That to actually get the trade done.
Yep.
But you do that. That means so you got Duran leading off, Toddy hitting second, Arise hitting third, Manny hitting fourth, Merrill hitting fifth.
Then you got your
Bogarts hitting sixth, Cronenworth hitting seventh,
catcher, and who else?
Gavin Sheets, excuse me, sorry.
Sheets.
Hold on.
Well, Sheets is going to be higher than Bogey.
Gavin Sheets would be hitting sixth behind Merrill. Bogey would be hitting seventh. Cronenworth hitting 8. Your catcher's hitting 9th.
That sounds a lot better than what they have right now.
A million times better than what not a million, but.
And that's just by adding a 9 WAR guy.
Yeah.
They can make this lineup a lot better by adding Jarren Duran.
Yeah. we just did it.
Yep.
Jarren Duran's hitting leadoff. Toddy's hitting second. Arise is hitting third. Manny's hitting fourth. Merrill's hitting fifth. Sheets is hitting sixth. Xander's hitting seventh. Crony's hitting 8th. And your catcher's hitting 9th.
Who says no?
Probably the Red Sox.
Potentially the Red Sox.
If they don't get what they want.
Kevin Acee from San Francisco will join us on the other side. Plus, we're giving away Brad Paisley tickets. Jim's back pages ahead. But Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, on the other side. Updates on Gavin Sheets, Yu Darvish, Michael King, and more. Stay with us, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival. Padres and Giants start a 4-game series tonight up in the Bay Area. 6:45 first pitch. Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres. Gavin Sheets not in the lineup tonight, but he says he is available off the bench and he's going to avoid an IL stint. So that is good news there. And the NBA Finals, they are set. Tips off Thursday night. Thunder and Pacers, game 1 in OKC. Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Music Festival by events.com is happening June 20th through the 22nd, featuring Walker Hayes, Cody Jinks, Alabama, Russell Dickerson, Midland, Big Rich, and more. Get 3-day or single-day tickets now at TemeculaValleyFestival.com.
All right, let's catch up with our Padres Insider Kevin Acee from San Francisco. Before we start, Kevin, did you realize that Jim is back from his trip to Hawaii?
Hi, Kevin.
Just now, when I heard the end of the what I assume was the update there.
Yes. Jim is back from
Kevin's
Hawaii.
like, oh, thanks. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah.
Then.
All right. Thanks for hopping on. No, we're kidding. Okay. So let's start with Gavin Sheets. It sounds as if we heard some of Mike Schultz's pregame comments. It sounds as if they avoided a worst case scenario, and theoretically he could even be available at some point tonight off the bench.
Evidently, that's the case. Yeah, I mean, he was going good last night. He wouldn't have flown up here if he hadn't already, if they didn't feel good about the concussion test that he took yesterday. So obviously, the hip's still sore. He impacted that wall with a good portion of his body. Might even need a couple days. And it was full speed, man. He ran 85 feet and man, he ran into it. So I might need a couple days, but yes, definitely seems to have avoided worst case.
So clearly him in left field is just not going to work. I mean, defensively, he does not look right out there, misplays balls and running into the wall the other day, hurting himself. So now the question is, like, what's the next option or what's the next course of action here to upgrade left field? Because that's clearly a massive hole with this team.
Yeah, they've been trying for weeks. I think it gets a little tiny bit more urgent. The more you try that doesn't work, right? Like Sheets, Tyler Wade's in there again. That's something that, I think was inevitable that he was going to be the guy to go against righties. And the more that it just doesn't fix itself, then the more urgent it becomes. The problem is, and here's my understanding, is the Padres have some money for an affordable guy, let's say, but can they line up? That's their concern. Can they line up with the prospect capital that they have to spend? Will that be enough to get them? I know the Athletic reported, and yes, AJ Preller has been in love with Duran for years. But can they swing that? They have some young pitching prospects. I don't know, where's the Red Sox? Where is another team that has an affordable outfielder? Where are they at in their rebuild? Do they want a 19-year-old? Do they want a reliever, right now? What did they want? And the Padres also have some starting pitching depth concerns. So yeah, I would say that there's some challenges right now.
And with the challenges, are there any names that you've heard other than what the Athletic reported today with Duran, or are there names out there that you might think that could be attainable?
It's a little early, and I haven't. I haven't. I don't think that anybody right now, AJ Preller, I go and say this, and there will be a deal done for somebody by Tuesday, which is tomorrow. But anybody right now that is a decent hitter that isn't going to cost more than $2 or $3 million for the rest of the year, go ahead and assume they've called on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. Of course, it's still only the first week of June, and there's plenty of time. And oftentimes, most of these moves are made after the trade deadline, after the All-Star game. We'll see if the Padres can wait that long. We touched on starting pitching a little bit. Obviously, we've been waiting on you, Darvish. We're waiting here on Michael King. You and I talked about it on Friday with King. I know King has since spoken with the media. How would you characterize both King and Darvish? Would you say week to week on King and Darvish? Would that be a fair statement to make?
I think that's probably pretty good. It's certainly not day to day.
Right.
Week to week. What does does King join them in Milwaukee? Then, you know, what kind of throwing is he doing? What happens tomorrow when Darvish does his bullpen? How many pitches is it? Is it more than 90%? Evidently he is feeling better, right? And he's willing to go out 3 days after throwing 6 or 7 pitches at 90% and do it again and throw a few more pitches at 90%. So that's a good sign. Is that encouraging that he'll be pitching next week? No. So the longer both of them are out, the longer it's going to take because you got to build back up to some extent. Obviously, both of them are built up, and you know it's not like a 2 or 3 rehab starts, but it's at least 1. And so, yeah, week to week is probably the way to go. Are they encouraged by both? Are they more positive than negative? Yes. And is that seem realistic? It does. But I mean, who knows? There's some that think it could be. Now, this is all speculation based on history of injuries. Michael King is evidently on the shorter end of what these nerve, whatever you want to call it, pinch nerve, deadened nerve, whatever. He's on the shorter end. But it could be a month, man. And Darvish might be back before that. So there's no way to tell.
And fluky injuries, I mean, they happen. They're not uncommon, but still, like, have you asked Michael King, or has he talked about, like, has this been an issue before where he's had a fluky, like, injury from his sleep, or is this, like, 100%, like, out of the blue?
It seems like this was 100% out of the blue, and I've asked people all around, like everyone I could ask, because while it did seem this was the real thing, and people were swearing this was out of the blue, it's so crazy that you had to ask around. Yeah. And it seems that legit, whether there was something before and this aggravated it, or he just slept really solid and really awkwardly and this came up, and it seems that's what happened, and it was not something. He swears that, and other people, that he had a good bullpen. He was ready to go until he woke up on that Saturday morning. And I will say that in their defense, maybe we've talked about this before, there's no chance they go a bullpen game that day unless they have to. This was out of the blue. I really believe that.
Kevin Acee with us right now, our Padres insider from San Francisco. Padres and Giants coming up in just over an hour. Fernando Tatis struggles, which started in early May. We're now, I think, 27 games. His last 27 games, he's hit something like 179. Could anything be health related with Tatis? Is there any correlation? He was hit in Pittsburgh, but he didn't miss any time. And I think it correlates. I think his struggles correlate with getting hit in Pittsburgh. Is that just random, or is there any potential correlation, or how do you see it?
I've checked on it, and everyone dismisses it out of hand. And I'll say this, like, he wore the padded compression sleeve for 2 games, did not miss any time, and it sure doesn't seem like that has anything to do with anything. This is basically the same as his struggle for 28 games in 2023. He has been trying too hard. I've talked to him about that. Talked to him about his, how do we put it? As high as Fernando gets, he gets pretty low too. And he's pretty pissed at himself, at the situation. He's pissed at the umpires, at the luck. He's just not doing well, man. He's not hitting fastballs well. But the crazy thing is, it's pitch selection maybe in the zone. He's not chasing, which has been the most predictable thing in the world when Fernando Tatis Jr. is struggling, is that his chase rate skyrockets. It's not. It's he's not swinging and missing more. He's just, if you notice, one at bat, he'll do the big leg kick. One at bat, he'll do a medium leg kick. One at bat, he'll not do a leg kick. His timing is just off, and he can't fix it. And he's been trying to fix it. He's been Xander Bogarting this thing. So they're just working on getting him back to being Fernando. And that's all that I've gotten. And I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to so many people, I sort of paralyzed myself rather than just writing some sort of definitive thing about it. Because it's like, what is it? It's a slump, man. But it's Fernando, and he was so good. And yeah, so don't think it's health related. And listen, he's about to go to some National League West parks, and it's June. I think he's about to go off.
Well, that would be great news for the Padres. And we talked as much they need help in left field. I know the other day, Elias Diaz had a nice at bat off the bench and was a big part of the comeback there. But, catching offensively is still a major hole in this team. Do they view if they can go out and get a big upgrade relative in left field, then they can feel okay with having just that black hole at catcher in the offense? Or how do they view their catching position right now?
I think it's a great question because not only do you have this, so that's a part of it, right? If you've got length throughout the lineup, you can deal with the black hole. That answer is yes. But I'm black and you have a 35-year-old and a 38-year-old. So really, are you comfortable with this?
Yeah.
You have Luis Campusano, but first off, he's like 0 for 14, right?
Yeah.
And you don't like him at catcher. So do you really have Luis Campusano as your, backup to the backup? I don't think you do. So that is a great question. And we got to put it below left field, below starting pitcher, and think about what are their capabilities to get better there. But I do believe that is a concern for what we just talked about.
How do you view these 17 games? 14 on the road, 3 at home against the Dodgers, without Michael King and Yu Darvish, presumably probably for that stretch. I guess we'll ultimately wait and see. But how do you view what's to come here for the Padres?
Better start hitting. That's how I view it. I don't want to, like yesterday, great win, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of much needed and all that stuff, they could come here and get swept. They could have lost yesterday and come here and swept the Giants. I don't like to get caught up in what needs to happen, but I feel it's as big as everyone else feels it is. And I think that they feel it's big to a certain extent. But the offense better get going. I'm not saying that Matt Waldron can't come back and be the guy he was for those 16 starts last time, or that Ryan Berger was really good out of the bullpen. It seems like a real mellow kid. Saying he can't come in here, the Giants are struggling, that he can't come in here and maybe go 5 innings, allow 2 runs or something. I'm just saying this offense has got to get out of this funk. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know any other way to look at it than it just can't keep going like this. And that means Fernando needs to get out of his funk, right? We could talk about this offense and all that, but when the offense basically has died several times at the feet of Xander Bogaerts, and it has failed to get going because Luis Arraez and Fernando Tatis Jr. are not hitting like they normally hit this past month. So it's when I say the offense needs to get going, those guys need to get going.
Yeah, it's a tough ballpark to get an offense going up in the Bay Area against San Francisco. It's a tough starting pitcher to get going against. Logan Webb obviously has been one of the best in the National League for the last few years. Kevin, always appreciate you taking time. We'll catch up again with you on Wednesday from San Francisco, and thanks as always for hopping on.
Right on. See you guys.
Right, great stuff from Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We can react, plus Jim's back page coming up next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. If you want free tickets to see Brad Paisley, you need to call right now. But it's not Brad Paisley, it's Dierks Bentley. So don't call right now if you want to see.
It's such an idiot. You want Brad Paisley? Nope.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Not Brad Paisley. It's Dierks Bentley.
It's been a long day.
It's only Monday, dude.
I know. If you want a 4-pack of tickets, see Dierks Bentley.
Yes.
At the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, June 19th. Call 877-767-4760. You're not going to see Brad Paisley unless he's just there to support Dierks Bentley, or if he's a surprise guest.
Probably won't be there.
He probably won't be there. But if you want to see Dierks Bentley, who we've both seen, by the way, in concert, haven't we? I've seen him.
Me?
Didn't you see him, or Aaron maybe?
I'm sure Aaron's seen Dierks Bentley. I have not.
Okay, well, I've seen him. He's good. If you want tickets, call 877-767-4760. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. This will be June 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Let's get to this.
So last night, John, at an auction, Tony Gwynn's 1991 Gold Glove Award.
Oh, wow.
Sold for guess how much?
Gold Glove Award sold at auction for $21,440.
And you are so wrong. $62,000.
Wow.
For Tony Gwynn's
That's amazing.
1991 Gold Glove Award. Now back then, they still do the big, like,
I think so.
Golden Glove.
I would think they should.
I think they do.
So they auction that off for $60K, $62K.
$62,000.
That's a lot of money.
So
did we win?
We did not win. I did not. I did not
have that high bid.
I did not.
62K.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what?
That's a lot of money.
I'm gonna use this money on buying something that is like cards.
Yeah, exactly. Good idea. That's smart.
If you had a $62,000 budget for cards, what would you do?
Spend it, I guess. How would I spend it? I don't know. Would you just go big and get like 5 or 6 cards worth like $10K each?
Probably. I'd get like a whole set.
I mean, I would love to get a nice set of like Tony rookie card stuff.
Yeah,
truthfully,
that'd be cool. Couple autos. Give me some autos.
Some autos. Yeah, absolutely.
Rip some
wax.
Ripping some wax, bro.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts, John, is bringing back a fan favorite flavor after a 6-year hiatus.
Which would be?
It would be the Frosted Blue Raspberry. According to Pop-Tart, the team is they're teaming up with Marvel Studios and the Fantastic Four movie to bring back what they describe as a, quote, fan favorite flavor that has not been available in stores for more than half a decade. Of course, with the Fantastic Four being released here coming up soon, the Frosted Blue Raspberry flavor just makes sense. So they're bringing that in stores along with collaboration of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie.
Is that a flavor that you would be interested in?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to trying it.
Right.
I think most flavors of Pop-Tarts
you can't really go wrong.
You really can't. Like
what's a tried and true Pop-Tart flavor? Strawberry?
Yeah, the strawberry with the frosted strawberry one.
Yeah.
Couple other ones, I think.
The frosting is very good.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
The other day I had a like a protein Pop-Tart.
It's like has more protein in the Pop-Tart.
Yeah, expecting for it to taste a certain way.
It didn't taste that way.
And I'm like, well, because in your mind you have the Pop-Tart taste, right? So like you're expecting it, and it looked really good. It was like fluffy, and it was like nice frosting on it. And I was like, ooh, this looks good.
Where did you find it?
I found it at Bonnie's Seaside in Coronado.
And then you had it, and it wasn't what you expected.
Look, I ate it, but it
just wasn't the same.
Didn't taste like a Pop-Tart. Of course, that's on me because it was a
protein
Pop-Tart. Chick-fil-A, John, is bringing back a fan favorite as well this month,
which is
one of Chick-fil-A's most beloved milkshakes is set to return next week. The creamy treat will be joined by a new peach theme item, the peach frosted lemonade, as Brent is throwing his hands up in the air.
I love the peach shake.
The drink features Chick-fil-A's regular or diet lemonade mixed, ice cream dessert, and peaches.
Peaches.
That sounds and looks delicious. So both drinks will be available for a limited time. One has frosting on top. So the peach frosted lemonade and milkshake, which will be available at participating Chick-fil-A locations starting on June 9th. So that is
1 week from
1 week from today.
Wow. The more you know.
Dude, I like the peach shake almost as much as I like the chicken sandwiches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm a big peach guy though, but yeah, I love that.
And this is not like a non-sports story. This is actually a sports story.
Right.
According to Front Office Sports, so the big question about Inside the NBA was, is it going to be Inside the NBA or is ESPN going to water it down and make it awful?
Yeah.
Because that's the big concern. Is
right.
Like, is ESPN going to make one of the best shows on television for sports, right? Are they going to ruin it?
Yeah. You're right.
Well, according to Front Office Sports, Inside the NBA will lead ESPN's NBA pregame and halftime programming, and there will be an extensive postgame show. Sources tell Front Office Sports that ESPN has no plans to change the show's DNA.
Okay.
As Inside the NBA transitions to ESPN.
That's what they say now until they have Stephen A on opening night.
Well, the thing, and I know we should probably have more time to talk about this, but the thing with the Inside the NBA that's been talked about is the best part of it's the post-game shows. And
yeah,
if
because it goes off the cuff.
Right. And they don't have a set time for their shows. They just, when they're done, they're done. And they have long form segments.
Yep.
They don't bow down to the commercial.
Putting it in a window.
Right.
Oh, we got 22 minutes till the top of the hour.
If they go long, they go long.
These are what are they going into? Like
some random
New York fire or something.
or CSI New York, right?
Exactly.
They can push it back.
Yep.
But on ESPN, you can't really do that because you can't push back live programming. Now, I don't. They're not going to be on ABC after games, and ABC's the main NBA platform,
hub,
the hub. Now I know NBC is going to get the NBA Finals next year.
They're rotating.
They're
rotating.
rotating.
I'm not sure how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Please, ESPN, if you have any brains, you keep it as is
with no tweaks.
No tweaks. And you know what you tweak? You get rid of your awful inside or whatever NBA show on ESPN they have right now with what's her face and
the GM of the Warriors
and Bob Myers and Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Like you get rid of that show because that show compared to Inside is not even close.
And also don't get cute. Like I love a Scott Van Pelt, but you don't have to co-brand everything. Like let's check in with Scott Van Pelt, who's got Sports Center coming up next. Just let the show be the show, and then let ESPN do its programming around the show. But let the show be the show. You're 100% right.
The only thing you change with Inside is you call it Inside the NBA on ESPN, and that's it.
All right, we're back tomorrow at 2 p.m. For Brent and Maui Jim, I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760.
Okay, bye.
Bye.